Welcome in, everybody. Ben and Woods, 97.3 The Fan. Happy Monday to you. We are a little bit frazzled in here, as usual, on a Monday. Got a lot going on. And by a lot going on, I mean some things are not going on that we need to go on to do our jobs. And our internet is down, and that's a little bit dicey. So we've had to hook up our cameras to Ben's laptop. I have no access to the internet whatsoever except on my phone. So if you see me looking at my phone on the camera, I am still very interested in this program and being here and contributing. But this is where I need to get my information. It's all on here. Great to be with you guys on a Monday. Let's get our heads right. After, another series win from our San Diego Padres. Could not complete the mop yesterday. I want to talk about them, certainly. We have a special guest in studio also this morning. I'll get to him in a moment. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. He's our executive producer. Good morning, Paulie.
Good morning. Apparently, I have the only working computer with internet access in the building.
We can all huddle around your desk.
Like, it could be worse.
It could be worse.
I mean,
if you didn't have internet, we'd be really, really screwed. Speaking of really screwed, Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor, joins us as well.
That's
Good morning,
an odd
Ben
introduction.
Schmidt. It was.
Good morning.
I went with it.
Good morning to both of you, and congratulations to both of you as well. Show our special guest.
Which way are you going?
Guest.
Oh, here, this special guest?
Yeah, that special guest.
This is one special guest. This is our 2024 Spring Championship Trophy, which we won yesterday. The Tier 1 baseball team. We did it. What an incredibly long and hot day of baseball was played yesterday. And we did it, man. First year in the league, put a team together of strangers, of listeners, of beautiful, beautiful listeners of this program.
Late in December, we said, hey, we want to start a baseball team. We're going to hold a tryout on New Year's Eve.
New Year's Eve day.
At 8 a.m. or whatever it was.
Pouring rain.
Just muddy fields. And we had 60, 70 guys show up.
It's crazy.
Whittled it down to about 20. And these bunch of degenerates all
came together, man. Started the season 4-4, I think, or 2-2, and ripped off 8 straight to win the whole effing thing. And we did that yesterday. We started our day in Valley Center at high noon. It was 99 degrees when I pulled up to the parking lot. We did the quarter-mile walk from the parking lot down to the field. By the time we got down there, everyone was completely gassed. It was horrific. The field was in good shape, though. It was nice. So we played that game. Congratulations to our pal Joey. Joey Ross Richard went complete game, probably threw 170 pitches.
Happy birthday, also.
Is it his birthday today?
Yeah.
Happy birthday, Joey. Won that game handily.
Then you asked him to pitch again in the next game?
No, but then he led off and played right field the entire game. I mean, you're talking about...
My man probably had 75 pitches in the third inning.
I almost pulled him.
And somehow went CG.
I almost pulled him. I'm not kidding, in the second inning. And our other guy who pitched later, Ben, said, just let him roll. He's fine. We'll get some runs. We'll score off these guys. I said, all right, I'm going to trust you. And Ben Bruff. If you didn't hear our little peanut gallery over here, my little peanut is in today. Beau Woods is joining the program as well. Say hi, everybody. Oh, don't get shy now, big mouth. Don't get shy. So Beau is obviously out for summer, and we have nothing to do with him. So he's going to be at work with me. Thank God, he says. And he's going to be here with us today. Got a fun game. He can play against some Tier 1 later. I promise you he's going to whip your ass at it. But, yeah, man, and then we went from there. This is great. You don't know this story. So we leave Valley Center, and, feeling pretty good going to play the championship. Going to play the Oceanside Old Goats. Now, they had absolutely murdered us early in the season. Murdered us. 2-hit shutout. It sucked. It was terrible. We got them the next game. Remember, they're the ones that got mad that we were stealing bags up like 7-8 runs in the 7th.
Right. So you're anticipating maybe some payback in the championship game.
I thought, man, these guys are going to want this. They're such good dudes, man. They came out and we had us a game. I mean, the final was 6-2, so it stayed fairly close, and we were able to have a couple of big innings to put it out of reach. But they played their asses off. A lot of credit goes to both teams, the Aztecs and the Old Goats. They were awesome competitors, awesome guys, and we ended up winning the game yesterday, but when I pulled up to the field, we had about a 2.5-hour lag, which was great. So you finish one game, then you get to Escondido High, where you have a lag. As I'm the first one in the parking lot, I'm going to get everything set up. The commissioner of the league is out behind the mound on his hands and knees, and there's water bubbling up out of the ground. And I ran out, Jason, what's up? He's, oh, dude, something busted, a pipe busted, and the water was just, and you can see the water spreading around the infield. Now, it was 100 degrees at Escondido when I got there at 3:30. So he has his hands in the ground holding the water down so it wouldn't continue to bubble up and ruin the field. So he's holding it. We're on the phone. We get the plumber to come out there, the district plumber. He comes out. He shuts down every valve he can find. Nothing. Still bubbling. Has to go way, way around. Finally gets the water turned off. By the time the game started, completely dry. That's how hot it was. I mean, the water had been bubbling for 15, 20, 25 minutes. But it all worked out. We ended up winning that game. And we are your 2024 spring champions. Shout out to all the Tier 1s. Monster group of guys. Like family to us now. And honestly, I called Paulie after the game and go, did you ever think we would win a championship with this bunch? He goes, man, I didn't think so. After the first couple games, we kicked it around, and nobody hit. And then we just started dominating teams, and it was so much fun. And very proud to be associated with them. So glad we did it. Such a great idea. And now everyone's in, man. We'll be starting again in like 3 weeks for summer season. So I'm definitely ordering new jerseys. I got a text from a fellow manager. He's not a player manager. I'm a player manager, but he's just a regular. He won manager of the year last year. He saw the picture, and he said, let's go. And I said, yes, sir. He goes, well, I was hoping for the see-through white pants, but whatever. I said, I'm going brown jerseys next. White sucks. It's not flattering on us. We look like marshmallows in white. I, especially, Paulie. We both saw pictures of ourselves in the jersey. We're like, let's go something more dark, slimming.
Why did we do that?
Why did we do this again? And he said, it's a lot of white. But he said, proud of you guys. So that was nice from Skip Schumacher yesterday. And, game recognizes game, I guess. But it was awesome, man. It was a great day, a hot day, a long day. But it was cool, man. It was a real cool experience, one of the many cool experiences we've got to do with our audience since we started. And I can't wait to do it again. So the plan is this. I've talked to the commissioner. We're going to be doing relegation next spring. So there's 2 leagues. There's the upper division and the lower division. We played in the 18 lower division. And the top 2 teams from the lower next spring, summer, we're going to stay where we are.
Okay. We'll
go up, and the bottom 2 will go down. So we're actually going to do like they do in soccer. So you'll be relegated. I mean,
promotion
and relegation, which is awesome because it's such a good incentive. Like you're like, we want to go up, or you're like, we don't want to go down. So it's going to be really cool. So I expect the Tier 1s to probably be in the top division next year. I think it's depending on how this summer session goes. But yeah, man. And the other thing is,
if we finished third, say in the summer division, then do we stay?
We stay
in the spring.
Yeah, we stay in the spring. So the cool thing is I'd like to get as many, because I had a lot of people reach out and they want to play ball again. And I highly recommend it. We have guys that hadn't played organized ball in 30 years, and they want in. So I think what we'll do in December again is, I'm sure some guys will fall off our team, take the spring off, whatever. We'll do another tryout. We're going to do another tryout in December and do the whole thing again, add some pieces to our team, maybe even create a whole nother team. So it's really cool.
But is there anyone... I mean, if you were on the championship team, are you guaranteed to come back? Or could you lose your spot on the team due to lack of performance? How serious is this?
I wouldn't say lack of performance, really. I would say some guys...
Lack of showing up to enough games?
Yeah, I mean, it's, listen, I love everybody on our team. There are guys, I think, that are like, oh, that was fun, I'm done. There are guys that are, I can't make it, this time, so give my spot to somebody else. There may be people on our team that think, I want more playing time and I can get it somewhere else. That's also, like, I'm not going to be offended at all, because there's a lot of dudes that want to play more, and I totally understand that, man.
It's tough to get 19 guys into a ball game.
It really is tough, and I was able to get everybody in the first game yesterday, and that made me feel good. Everyone got at least one AB, so that was cool. So I'll get it figured out, man. And look, the more people we can get in the league, the better. It's more fun for us, and the more Tier 1s we can flood the league with, great. We could do a Tier 2s and all that. Like, we could really do it up. But if you're interested in playing, keep your eyes and ears open. And it was awesome, man. It was a very special day. I was a very, was kind of emotional when we got the last out, man. I was like, I can't believe we did this. It was really fun.
Did you go out afterwards to celebrate, or too tired after 2 entire games in 100-degree heat?
Actually, I wasn't too tired, and I would have liked to celebrate, but I have this job that starts at 6 a.m., and you can tell. So I had to get home, get to bed, and be fresh. And
That game ended about 8:15, 8:30.
yeah, man, we were. I was a 10, 12-hour day of baseball in the scorching heat, but nowhere else I would have rather been. Nowhere else. It was awesome, and I can't wait to do it again with you guys. And thanks for everyone that came out and watched and stuff. It was a blast. We had some good baseball. Really, really good baseball is played in that league, and very, very challenging. Very challenging. So big-time players show up in big-time games. And me and Paulie, we are not big-time players, but we did show up. I got a knock. We both walked in a run. We both had a steak yesterday, so that was pretty good. But I hit into a double play, which I'm averaging like 1 in my last 5 games, so that's been fun. But I struck out 1 time the entire season. That's the thing I'm very proud of.
Woods arise.
Yeah, 1 time. I'm sure my guys would rather me strike out than continue to wrap into double plays, but I did stretch a double into a single yesterday, which was great.
You stretched a double into a single.
I did. Stretch
all
a
the way
double
to
into
the
a
fence, and by the time they fielded the ball, he was just barely getting to first.
I am shot. My knees are shot. My legs are shot. Everything is shot.
Well, just like most of the Padres.
It's exactly.
as well.
I fit right
So,
in. You know that knee thing that Jerkson has? I think I have that.
Patellar
as well.
tendinitis.
Yeah, we got ours in different ways, but it was awesome. It was great to be there, and hey, the San Diego Championship curse is officially lifted. Look at that. Mwah. Feels so good.
I mean, technically, someone from San Diego was going to win that championship. That's
also true.
Only teams from San Diego in the league.
Also true. Yeah, that's true.
So,
that's true.
Don't know.
I thank you for urinating in my Cheerios this morning. I was trying to do something nice for the city. I guess I won't anymore. But yeah, so our internet's down. You're not going to find me in the chat very much. I would love to be, but until our internet gets fixed, this is where we were at.
Well, it's good to see you, Beau. I didn't know it was take your kid to work day, but
Yes.
glad to see you here. It's
It is.
not. It is. You're here,
You're here.
and Paulie's here. Woods is here. We are kicking off a big week here. The Padres had, as you said, a series victory weekend. We'll be talking about that. We'll set the menu for today's show, what we've got coming up. We got a bunch of giveaways as well, so we'll let you know what's on the menu when we come back. Thanks for joining us on a Monday morning.
It's Championship
Monday morning with Ben and Woods. Let's check traffic with Kelly here on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. All right, 2 solid wins, and then, of course, a Sunday loss. So we will have our Padres wrap-up coming up at the bottom of the hour that will feature the...
3 solid wins.
Well, yeah, but we were here on Friday. So since we've been gone, since our last show, 2 solid wins and a Sunday loss that we have to go through at the Padres wrap-up.
Who could have predicted that? Paulie, we were sitting in the dugout yesterday, and Paulie goes, idiots. It's hard. You don't want to bet against the Padres, but you're like, there's no way they're mopping this team. No way they're mopping any team. 4 straight wins against the same team. It's hard to do.
Get 2 games above 500.
Right, yeah. I mean, it was just...
They don't want to get too far away from that 500 mark.
They just gravitate back towards it. Obviously, the latter, the opposite is awful. Go out and get bodied by that team, but... Man, they handled biz against the Brewers those first 3 games. Absolutely handled business. Looked like a completely different team, down several guys, and I was very impressed, man. I was at the game on Saturday. It was a laugher until the 9th. Terang hit that grand slam, but other than that, I did not see one single pitch of yesterday's game. We were out running around all day playing ball, but we were updating from the dugout, and it was like 4-0. I'm like, what? Did King just not have it?
Actually... He was outstanding. They just kept dinking bloops all over the place. And I know I'll be accused of turd polishing, but even in the write-up of the story, everyone knows that Michael King was fine. He struck out 6 batters in the first 2 innings. And still managed to give up 5 runs in the second inning at the same time.
It just sucks.
It was two absolute 2 bloops, a couple of bleeders, and then as the inning went on, they did hit a line drive finally for a couple more runs. But at some point, it's hot. He's out there forever. It was hot. They just can't. The ball just couldn't find a glove yesterday. Unfortunately, the BABIP in the first 2 innings was 1,000.
Good
for the Milwaukee Brewers.
Come on, man.
The offense was more of the concern yesterday, and I think the lingering injuries and the effect of those injuries is something we'll be talking about coming up this morning around 7 o'clock. Updates on Fernando Tatis Jr., Jurickson Profar. According to Mike Schilt, Tatis was available yesterday, but then after the game, he wasn't exactly forthright in, talking about Fernando Tatis Jr. and, what's wrong, how long is he expected to be impacted, could he still go on the injured list? None of those questions were completely answered, so we'll play some of the Mike Schilt audio for you about the injuries and talk about your level of concern right now for a team that is dealing with a lot of physical ailments at the moment, right now at the midway point of the 2024 season. In our 7 o'clock hour, we'll start with our giveaways, including Take on Woods, chance to qualify for the trip for 2 to the Fontainebleau, Las Vegas, and our musical trivia challenge against Woods. Don't do this if you saw the ending of the golf tournament yesterday. Some wild happenings on the 18th green as Scotty Scheffler was going for his, 7th win of the season. Incredible year that he's having, but there was some protesters who charged the green at the final moment of the golf tournament.
Okay.
Talk about that and don't do this. We can go over as you said, really solid victories earlier in this series for the Padres against a good Milwaukee Brewers team. I mean, what's been the story all year long? Padres have played well for the most part against the good teams. Other than, the Phillies got them, but Dodgers, Braves, Brewers. The Padres have played some good baseball against, quality contenders for the most part, and they continue that again this weekend against the Milwaukee Brewers.
But it's nice, and it's nice to see the guys winning some games at home. You know what I mean? It's nice to see those guys playing a little bit better at Petco Park, and of course, once they start playing better at home, they start playing like ass on the road, and it's got to even out at some point. They're one game over 500 right now?
They're 500 exactly.
500 exactly.
Right now.
Oh my.
41 and 41.
Woo! 82 games. We're on the downslope.
Yep,
right
80
now.
left.
80 left.
We're beyond the only team that is over the mountain of the halfway point of the season so far. But
Is there
the Padres
any doubt
are there.
that they don't go 40 and 40 over the next 80?
I think
it may be good enough, but it's still going to be excruciating. It's going to be excruciating.
I think health
games.
will be the biggest factor. If the Padres can somehow get healthy in the second half of the season, and that includes Fernando Tatis Jr., Xander Bogaerts coming back, Yu Darvish, who's scheduled to return tomorrow. if they can get healthier than they were.
Musgrove, Manny.
Musgrove, maybe, that's probably not until later in July, but Manny starts, getting more like him. I would expect the Padres to have a really good second half. But this could easily go the other way. If the injuries continue to linger, get worse, guys out for the season, I don't know that they have the depth to.
You do know.
Well, they probably don't.
They
have
don't
the
have
depth
the
to-
depth. Yeah, no, you know.
At some point, it's just going to be too much, and they'll probably 500 or worse and not make the playoffs. So I think health is the biggest story for the San Diego Padres here at the midpoint of the season, and it could go either way. I could easily see the Padres being healthier in the second half. It wasn't exactly like the first half was the pinnacle of perfect health for the San Diego Padres,
And they're still hanging around.
And they're still hanging around, and they're still in a playoff spot in that third wild card spot.
And they're still beating good teams.
And you could say, great job in not letting this season get away despite some of the injuries that you had to deal with. But the problem with injuries is they do tend to get worse, not better,
Correct.
over the course of a 162-game season. And if you're crossing your fingers that the second half is just going to magically be better health-wise than the first half, it's not necessarily the most, open-eyed way to look at the rest of the season.
Yeah, no doubt.
So we'll talk about all of that coming up. Second half of the program, Sammy Levitt will join us. It's Sammy In-Season Sammy Monday. We've got more ticket giveaways, including for the San Diego Legion. And we got Padres Nationals Ha-Seong Kim bobblehead tickets to give away for tomorrow night's game. And as Wood said, we're going to play Take on Beau in a challenge. You against a 6-year-old on Padres 2024 Padres trivia.
Yeah, just general knowledge, Colin.
Yep. If you can beat Beau, we can give you some Padres Nationals tickets coming up in our
College of General Padres Knowledge.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. Coming up at 9:20 this morning. Reindl Report, get you an update on some of the other sports stories, including a big Game 7 tonight and a Game 3 tonight if you're following the College World Series. You got 2 winner-take-all championship games.
So Tennessee
in the
tied
sports
it up
world.
yesterday?
They did.
Holy
So it's
cow.
Tennessee, Texas A&M for the college baseball title, and
Edmonton,
Florida.
Oh, a Game 7 that no one thought would get to a Game 7. Where's the game at? It's in Florida, right?
Back to Florida.
Oh, man. After they've lost 3 straight.
They have.
This cannot be a fun morning, waking up there if you're Florida. You know what I mean?
But they only have lost 1 at home.
Yeah,
they lost
true.
4 and 6 in Edmonton. They lost the 1 at home. Can they come back and win Game 7? We'll talk about that in the Reindl Report and more. All going until 10 o'clock this morning. So we got plenty of Padres to get to. Why don't we just get to our break? We'll come back with our Padres wrap-up. I'll fill you in on what you kind of missed yesterday in the game against the Milwaukee Brewers. Unable to complete the 4-game opportunity passed by for the San Diego Padres yesterday. That's coming up next with Ben and Woods on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. This hour on 97.3 The Fan is brought to you by the Farmer's Dog. From a healthier way to more energy, when you switch your dog's food to the Farmer's Dog, the effects can feel magical. What sorcery is this? None at all. It's just real food made for the health of dogs. Get 50% off your first box at thefarmersdog.com/radio. Oh, our dog got into the trash over the weekend.
It's like
wasn't watching her. Just sneaks in there and just starts pulling stuff out.
It's
it's
just
like
the worst,
Christmas morning.
Yeah, and they get the napkins that you've used and they
tear them
shred
up, shred
those
them,
to get one little taste of beef juice or something. You're like, bro,
there's just bits of everything everywhere.
It's tiny.
And she's so proud. Look
what I did.
That's the most annoying part of it. Is that
if there was any shame,
they sit there and they look and go, "Look what I did! Isn't this great? Isn't this great? What I just did? I was able to pull out all these tiny bits of trash, and now around my dog bed, I have just an entire collection of stuff. Aren't you happy with this?
I licked this In-N-Out wrapper clean, and then not only did I lick it clean, I shredded it to 1 billion pieces. Look at me, Dad.
Tails wagging,
just grinning, and you look at him, you're like, son of a bitch, why do I do this?
And it's too late to say no because they'll have no idea what you're talking about. Well, I don't know. I don't get it. I mean, obviously, what I did here was great, so that's not it. That's not why you're mad. This is perfection, obviously. So.
That's a bad feeling. Showing up from a long day at work, you walk in, you're like, my house was robbed. It was ransacked. There's stuff everywhere. Oh no, just my moron dog got into the trash again. My cats will. They like to go up to the counter and just knock stuff off. So you'll be sitting and you'll hear you'll be sitting and you'll hear clang and you're what the hell? You run in and they're sitting there looking at you and they've patted it off the deal. So you got to really be careful. You can't leave your food around. They'll get in that. I mean, it is something. It's something. Life isn't hard enough without dealing with these little turds.
Well, life was kind of hard for Michael King in the second inning yesterday. We'll get to our Padres wrap-up of the series finale against the Milwaukee Brewers right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Air Max, San Diego's highest-rated heating and air company. Visit them at airmax.com. Great time to be out on the roads, guys. Might still find a little activity, though, in Otay Mesa. Eastbound 905 Heritage Road off-ramp. Investigation of an overnight fatal accident happened around midnight. So, yeah, just a little activity there. But other than that, you are good to go. That northbound side of the 5, seeing just a few brake lights from the 54 on up toward Plaza Boulevard. Looking for the best in HVAC? Choose Air Max, San Diego's highest-rated heating and air company with free diagnostics on all repairs and estimates. See why over 1,300 happy customers have given Air Max 5-star Yelp reviews. See Air Max today at airmax.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben & Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
It's a shame if they lose.
Oh, a shame indeed.
It's a complete crap.
Oh, I did not like that.
Here are the lowlights from yesterday's game.
Are you kidding me?
Boo.
It's the Padres Wrap-Up, presented by Hamul Casino. With thrilling slots and tables and all the best rewards, Hamul Casino has all the fun you're looking for. Hamul Casino, fun above all else.
We'll give it 16 minutes of sulk, and then we'll, get back on the bump and figure it out.
It's not your fault.
2 on, 1 out. 2-2. Here's the pitch. Frelick hits it on the ground the other way. That's through the left side and a base hit. Adames is being waved. He's going to come in and score. Ortiz will wheel around to third base. An RBI single for Sal Frelick. Third hit of the inning for the Brewers, and a 1-0 lead here in the second. Ahead here, 0-2. The pitch. Perkins swings, pokes it in the air down the left field line, and that is going to drop in a base hit. 2 runs will score. Another bloop single for the Brewers. This one makes it 3-0 here in the second. 0-1. King holds the pause, now delivers. That's ripped on a line into right field in a base hit. Peralta's got to go over towards the corner to get it. Perkins is rounding third on his way. He's going to score without a play. And on his way to third base, Turang, a standing triple. And a 4-0 Brewer lead in the second. Pitch to him, hit hard on the ground. That'll go through the left side. And a base hit. Turang in to score. RBI single, Tyler Black. 5-0 Milwaukee in the second. Kim at second. Here's the 1-2. Arai swings, lines it into right field. That's a base hit. Bauer's charging. Kim's rounding third on his way. The throw will go to third. The tag, and Sullivan is safe. RBI single, Luis Arai. Padres are on the board. 5-1 here in the fifth inning. King comes set and ready. The big right-hander deals. And And on the outside corner, strike 3 called. Backed up the sweeper to punch out Perkins and end the inning. 8 strikeouts for Michael King. No runs, 2 hits, 2 left. 2-2. Cosgrove delivers. That is lined into center field and a base hit. Churio rounding third on his way. Merrill comes up throwing. It is cut by Arise. Throw to third base. They will tag Yelich there, but the run is scored. And the Brewers add on here in the top of the 7th inning. That'll end the top of the 7th inning, but Milwaukee a 6-1 advantage here on this Military Sunday. Here's the pitch. Machado swings, lines it into center field. Perkins charging, makes the catch. Deep enough for Profar to try. He's on his way, and he will score. A sac fly for Manny Machado. Padres back into the run column. And now 6-2 with 2 outs here in the bottom of the 8th inning. Bases are empty with 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning. 2-0 to Ha-Seong Kim. Here's the pitch. And Kim swings. It's a sharp ground ball right to the shortstop, Adames. He's got it, takes his time with it. Throw to first is just in time to get Kim. And a 1-2-3 bottom of the 9th inning for Trevor McGill. Clinches a 6-2 win for the Brewers here this afternoon. But the Padres take 3 out of 4 in the series.
Good series, good club, good series, played good baseball. Did a lot of things really well the whole series, including today. Went through on a 4-game run. Wasn't our day to come out on top, and we'll get ready to start another one.
Yeah, that's the key. Got to get ready to start another one because that's not what the Padres have been doing over the past almost month, Woods. Starting May 26th, when the Padres won 5 of 6, then they lost 5 in a row. Then they won 5 of 6, then they lost 5 in a row. And then they won 4 in a row, and now they lost yesterday. So you hope that this wasn't just the pendulum swinging game where the Padres now go back into the funk. They need to. Everybody's going to lose a game like yesterday.
Absolutely.
It's going to happen. And, even through very little fault of Michael King, Padres put themselves in a deep hole, weren't able to climb out of it. Fine. That is going to happen over the course of the baseball season.
A bunch of bleeders get to your pitcher. Fine, sure.
And if you just jump back and start by winning another series, taking 4 of your next 5, it's not a problem at all.
At all. Not the slightest.
That's not what this team has done, though. They have let with losses like that then compound into 3 in a row, 4 in a row, where now suddenly you're digging yourself out of the standings again and trying to climb your way back up to 500 as opposed to falling back to 500 like they did yesterday.
Let me give a lot of credit to Chris Ella, who's been on fire on Twitter lately. I mean, the guy goes from not tweeting at all to just firing little nuggets out that we can steal for our show every day. With yesterday's loss to the Brew Crew, the Padres are 41-41. It is the 25th different time this season that the Friars have been at the 500 mark. 25 times that this team has been 500. I guess, boy, you can
remember you can only be 500 after an even number of games.
Right.
So there's only been about 41 chances to be 500 this season, and more than half of those chances they have actually been at 500.
I mean, it's nuts. It is nuts. The anomaly that this team is just so wild.
Like you guys were playing in your championship and semifinal game, so you didn't get to see specifically what happened. And I want to go through that second inning a little bit because the first batter was actually probably the key to the whole inning, and it was Willy Adames. So Michael King had struck out the side in the first, and you're thinking,
here we go.
Oh, it's one of these games. We've seen a couple of them. The one against the Dodgers, first time he played the Brewers.
He can be
Michael
dominant,
King
man.
has got his nasty stuff today. And Willy Adames leads off the top of the second inning, and he pops a little 48 degrees, 78 mile an hour. An absolute, almost routine-looking pop-up into center field, but it's heading toward the triangle, right between shortstop, center field, and left field, where they're all converging. And Ha-Seong Kim, to both his credit and detriment, and a lot of people were tweeting about this yesterday. You know, Ha-Seong Kim is going out there with his hair on fire to try to make the over-the-shoulder catch from the outfield, as he often does, because, he covers a lot of ground and he's a really good infielder. But in his haste and his attempt to do so, he caused his less experienced center fielder, who probably had the best play, Jackson Merrill, a chance to make that play, and who had actually not gotten off to a great break, but could have recovered with his speed to pull up on the last 2 or 3 steps. So he couldn't get there because he was worried, of course, he was going to run into Ha-Seong Kim, something we have seen in the past when Ha-Seong Kim has run into, who was it, Tommy Pham out in left field before. It has happened before. And Jackson pulls up. Ha-Seong Kim can't quite get there. Jurickson can't quite get there, so it falls in. All right, it's a bloop single. Michael King is still dealing. Comes back, strikes out the next batter, so that's 4 strikeouts for Michael King. And then the next hit is a 64-mile-an-hour off the exit velocity. Joey Ortiz, little flare to left field. All right, 2 runners on, but no one's even come close to hitting the ball hard yet. Then Sal Frelick hits a ground ball the other way through the 5.5 hole for a run. It's going, all right, there's one. Then Gary Sanchez strikes out, so fine. Now you got 2 outs. You got 5 strikeouts. And then Blake Perkins hits that absolute floater to left field. He didn't even think he stopped. He looked and goes, I'm either out or it's foul. And then he realizes at the last second, I guess I just got a 2-run single.
Yep.
Then it's 3-0. Then the last couple of guys, Turang hit one into the gap. It was 83 miles an hour off the bat. It wasn't hit hard, but the right place. Ended up being a triple, scored another run. And Tyler Black hit a sharp ground ball single for the final run. It was one of the most unfortunate innings that you could imagine for Michael King. King comes back, pitches 4 more shutout innings, at least spares the bullpen from having to come in early in the game on a hot day.
Got through 6, yeah?
Got through 6.
That's fantastic.
Got his job done. Padres offense just was never able to make a run against a guy who I hadn't heard of, but Tobias Myers actually was throwing it pretty well. Padres were able to scratch a couple of runs, but never really had that big threat to come back and make it a game where you thought, put some pressure on the Brewers. Maybe they make a mistake here or there, get back into the game. They've
kicked it around all series. I mean, Padres did a really good job this series of taking advantage of mistakes that Bryce Turang has made on a double play. I mean, there's all kinds of boners by the Milwaukee Brewers in this series. And boy, I'll tell you, man. I mean, if I'm a Brewers fan this morning, I'm feeling really grateful to get a game against the San Diego Padres. Really, because they did not play well, and by your account, didn't play that well yesterday, to be honest either. So, that's the first place team we beat. I'm not going to be too upset about it. Taking 3 or 4 is always money, but like you said, you can't let this thing spiral into. I know you got 3 lefties against the Nats. You're going to run into an old friend in a couple of days in Mackenzie Gore, who's probably going to be pitching with his hair on fire. He's a very fiery dude anyway. So you're going to have to figure out a way to beat 3 left-handers at home against a team that you should beat. And I'm telling you, Patrick Corbin's on the mound tonight. I know you said he's had a couple of good starts in a row. I don't care.
Patrick Corbin's value to the Washington Nationals over the last few years has not been in winning games.
No.
It's simply been in chewing up innings.
And he does it well.
But he'll go 6 tonight.
But he'll give up 7
usually
runs.
He gives up 5 or 6 runs. I mean, he's been the worst starting pitcher in baseball. At least the worst one that they allow to keep going out there over and over again over the last, 3-4 seasons?
He's the wear it guy, man, basically. He just goes out and wears it and gives you 6-7 innings and sets your bullpen up for when the guys that can get outs pitch. So you got to come out and beat him tonight.
Now, of course,
straight up.
Last 2 times out, he's given up a total of 2 runs, and he's had 2 of his better outings of the season. So he's coming in with a little confidence and momentum, and he's facing a team that has struggled badly, as we know, against left-handed starting pitching.
Got to flip the script, man.
This is a big series coming up for the Padres as well. The Nationals are just a game under 500. They're immediately below the Padres in the still very jumbled up National League wildcard standings. Both teams are looking at this as an opportunity to deal a blow to one of the other many rivals that are going to be vying in the second half of the season for a playoff spot. So yeah, this is a pretty. First full series of the second half. This is a pretty big one for the San Diego Padres. Got to keep playing well at home, as you finally have done over these last, 10, 12 games at home. You've been playing your best baseball at home. Got to keep that going against an East Coast team who's on a long road trip. that doesn't always play out that way, but this is the kind of game, this is the kind of series you want to take advantage of.
I think the most frustrating part about this season for me has been the obvious inconsistency against the lower tiered teams. And listen, like you said, the Nationals are playing well. They're only a game back. They're a lower tier team. They're not supposed to be competing right now. And you have really soiled yourself against teams like that all season. Beating up on teams like the Nats, the Angels, the Rockies, things like that, Ben, that will allow you to split a 4-game series with Milwaukee. That will allow you to lose a series to the Dodgers. But because you haven't played that well, these Nationals games take on this whole new meaning of like, oh God, we have to beat this team. We have to beat Patrick Corbin and his 7 ERA or whatever it is. We have to. And yeah, man, you've dug yourself into this hole where you have to beat these crap teams because you've lost to so many.
Tom Cosgrove did give up a run, but he pitched a couple of games in the series. Ate up some innings and
better.
pitches. He does look better, obviously, than before when they sent him down. And then Johnny Brito pitched a couple of scoreless, not perfect innings, but they allowed the rest of the bullpen, the overtaxed Padres bullpen, to essentially have the day off yesterday. Estrada, Suarez, Enyel De Los Santos, Wandy Peralta, Adrian Morejon, they all got to take the day off yesterday as if it were an off day, which,
great.
Even in a loss, you can take something from that performance that you got King, Cosgrove, and Brito, got them through the day, give everybody else the day off, and come into, I wouldn't say fresh, but at least as fresh as you can be in a stretch of, 26 games in 27 days. They finally have an off day coming up on Thursday. Got to charge through that tape, though. You can't just say, we finally got that off day and just limp over the next 3. Charge through the tape, get to the Thursday off day, and then the schedule completely changes for the San Diego Padres. With the All-Star break and a bunch of off days coming up, I think it's they have 17 games in like 28 days or something.
Sucks for us, but great for them. Yeah.
So this is the last bit of what I think undoubtedly, at least on paper, on schedule-wise, is the toughest stretch for the Padres physically. There are stretches where you're, playing maybe tougher opponents all the way through, but physically demanding level of the play of the season right now, the toughest part for the Padres.
Yeah, man, give me 27 of the best innings you can play right now. And you get the day off and then the All-Star break around the corner and see if you can get some of these guys healthy and feeling good again and make a run in the second half. That's what we're all hoping for, certainly. But, yeah, man, they got to handle business at home.
And hopefully this period coming up, including the days off and the All-Star break, is something that the Padres can use to get healthier. Yep. Which is, to me, the biggest concern right now for the San Diego Padres. When we come back to start our second hour, I want to play the audio from Mike Shildt. There was some back and forth between the reporters post-game about Fernando Tatis Jr., his injury. You're going to ask of yourself when you hear the audio, how forthcoming is Mike Shildt being? It's not necessarily his job to be 100%.
You need a drug test, cuz?
Not exactly his job to be 100% honest, but you're not going to come away with it feeling like you
might think I'm nuts.
You have all the information that the Padres have, which is understandable. But as a fan, it makes me a little bit nervous about what is still to come, what we don't know about Fernando's health right now. Again, what we do know is not great. What we don't know is what scares me a little bit.
And what I've heard is even worse.
We'll get to that coming up next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. You just want to share a mic here for this segment?
I'd love to.
Come on, get in close. Ben and Woods back with you together
Here on the 97.3 The Fan.
Our esteemed engineering leader here, JR, is trying to fix our internet in the studio. He's sitting in Woods' seat, though. Kind of close.
Is this the closest I've ever been to you?
Unfortunately, no.
Oh, no, it's true.
Yeah, but so we'll get by as the best we can for the next couple of minutes.
Yeah, we'll be okay.
It almost feels like a full-time job, keeping just tabs on the Padres' injuries, ups and downs, comings and goings right now. And it's not all bad news at the moment for the San Diego Padres. Manny Machado seems to be getting a little bit healthier, back in the lineup, producing. His average over the last month is over 300. We'll see when the power is going to fully come back. Yu Darvish is scheduled to come off the injured list tomorrow and return. We'll see what he's got, and hopefully he'll look like he did before he went on the injured list. Was pitching really well, had that 25-inning scoreless streak. Jurickson Profar is continuing to deal with the patellar tendonitis in his knee, but as he promised when he left the game on Friday night, he said, "I'll be out Saturday, but I will be back on Sunday." And he was back. He had another double yesterday. First time in his career he's had doubles in 3 straight games, I saw. So, Jurickson may not be quite as hot as he was the beginning of the year, but he's been awfully consistent at the plate and continuing to do his thing. Fernando, though, is a story that I'm not sure what's going on right now with Fernando Tatis Jr. On Friday night, very scary moment, obviously, got hit in the elbow in the 3rd inning, and then 2 innings later was taken out of the game.
Begs the question, a gentleman of his importance and status in the game of baseball today, who, by the way, gets, I would say they pitch him in. That's the way to get Fernando Tatis Jr. out, as is the way to get most great hitters out. Up and in, down and away. Up and in, down and away. They've been doing this for 100 years.
He's also aggressive.
He's aggressive.
He'll crowd that plate a little bit.
And he'll lean out over the plate. An elbow guard and one of those arm bars might be a wise investment for that young man, right? Wouldn't you think? Yeah, it may be, it may impede your swing a little bit, take some getting used to or whatever. But when I saw him get hit the other night, my immediate thought was, oh, he'll be fine. That's right, where they hit you in the arm guard, but he didn't have one on, and it was what they call it, triceps contusion in the left tricep.
Yeah, but it was really close to the bony part of the elbow as well, which is a concern.
Woo!
And
the not so funny bone.
And I think like a lot of fans, I'm going, well, why doesn't he wear one of those things? I mean, he probably thinks it's uncomfortable and maybe hinders his swing a little bit, but you've seen it since Barry Bonds was the first guy who made it absolutely seem essential to wear that elbow guard to try to stay healthy, because you just never know. If they're going to pitch you inside and you're going to take one there, this is what can happen. So, Fernando Tatis Jr. has learned a lot of hard lessons already in his career.
Yes, he's very much like my children. Just the lessons that they learn, they sometimes have to learn the hard way.
It's Fernando Tatis Jr.
And not the easy way.
So he's also dealing with the quadriceps injury as well, which apparently has been going on for a month. You can tell with the way he's running or not running as well as he normally does that it's been bothering him. There was a back and forth between reporters and Mike Schilt after the game yesterday about the status of Fernando Tatis Jr., and you're going to come away with it from it somewhat optimistic, somewhat pessimistic, and somewhat confused as to the status of Fernando Tatis Jr. But here's what Mike Schilt had to say after the game.
He's available today. We didn't find the spot for him. He's available to hit today. There was a couple of different moments where we were just like a hitter away or a matchup away. Wasn't going to do it to do it. And even in the 6th, there was a window for that. Just didn't present itself to get to that spot.
Just to make sure you didn't end up getting any imaging. I think you said the other day you guys weren't expecting.
On the elbow, no, that's correct. He nothing with the elbow that we feel like is holding him back.
Is it just inflammation in there right now? Is that gone down mostly? Is there
in the elbow
clear diagnosis on what he's dealing with there?
In the elbow?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's just soreness, but he was having trouble straightening it, but the elbow wasn't holding him back.
How about the quad? How is that? And is that
equal concern at this point?
It's something we're still evaluating.
Was the fact that he's available, should we read anything into that as a positive? I guess it could be worse. Or
Listen, we're still making internal decisions and discussions, including with him and our medical group, and we'll have a little more clarity on what that looks like moving forward of his path.
That doesn't sound great to me, to be honest.
Well, let's parse it a little bit. While we parse it, if you want to call in and be a contestant for Take on Woods here in a couple of minutes, you can get in line 833-288-0973, 833-288-0973. All right, so really, he was very clear. Not any concern about the elbow. Sore, but it's not the issue. They're not even getting an MRI. They're not even looking at it. That's not what it is. His elbow is fine. It hurts, but it's fine. They're not worried about that. When they asked him about the quad, though, that was a lot more opaque in the comments. Internal discussions are still going on. We haven't made any full determinations about what's going on there.
Yeah, I don't know that I'm exactly feeling great about the elbow either, because he said, A, we didn't do imaging on it, which I don't know why you wouldn't. And then B, it was he can't straighten it. So that's not good, right? I mean,
but he also said it's not limiting him.
But if you can't straighten it, isn't that the definition of limited? Yes.
I don't know.
Can you straighten your elbow? No. Okay.
I told you were going to come away from this discussion a little bit confused.
So you're in fact limited, I would imagine. Yes?
Except that was the one thing he said he wasn't limited by the elbow.
But he's limited in the fact that he can't straighten it.
But he was available to pinch hit yesterday in the right circumstance. Just never had the right circumstance to get him in there.
A lot of people in the chat, and we need to table this one. Write it down on the rundown. Let's do it at 7:35. Was there any quote-unquote retaliation yesterday, Ben?
Not that I was aware of.
Okay. We need to bring this topic back again, because I see a lot of people on the skipper for not retaliating. Again, Fernando Tatis Jr. hit on the left elbow, knocked out of the game, and has not played since. And I want to talk again about the manager's role in all of this. Let's do that at 7:35. We can take your calls certainly about that as well. So I think that's definitely an interesting topic today, one that we bring up a lot because he does get thrown at a lot.
But we are concerned about for whatever health concerns they are there for Fernando Tatis Jr.
Yeah, I'd say so.
You're not going to be stunned if the Padres make a decision and put him on the injured list.
Not even a little.
I mean, they're already 3 days in. It's a 10-day injured list.
If you watch him play and you watch him run after balls or try to score from first, I mean, it's not there. It's very dicey.
Yet he went 4 for 5 with a home run like 3 or 4 days ago.
Yes, he did. Pre-hit on the elbow, but still the lingering quad.
That was still bothering him when he had a huge game, and when he's gone on his tear. His month of June has been on a
bad quad.
On an entirely bad quad, and he's still been one of the most productive offensive players in baseball. Can you afford to sit one of the most productive players in baseball to try to get that quad healthy, if that even is an option for the Padres to do right now?
Man, those quads, those hammies, those calves, they just linger. The little groin tweak just lingers.
Giancarlo Stanton's out for 4 weeks with a hamstring strain.
Yeah, man.
You just can't move. You can't run.
And he's a DH.
Yeah.
All they need him to do is go up and swing as hard as he can.
Can't do that.
Fernando Tatis Jr., more is expected of him. He's a platinum glove right fielder. You need him out there, and you need his bat in the lineup. So really, really tough. Really, really tough break for the Padres if he does end up going on the IL for any extended amount of time. You figure we can cover a week, but anything beyond that, you're looking at making a move, to be honest, to get somebody to try to replace him in the lineup.
Well, they had, and it was in the notes yesterday in the UT. Bryce Johnson was flown from AAA El Paso.
I was going to ask, who is the next
to Petco Park in case they needed to make some sort of move offensively. So they were at least to the point where they were close enough to a decision that we better have a player on hand if we decide to make a roster move. That can't give you a lot of confidence or encouragement if you're hoping that Fernando Tatis Jr. is going to be just fine.
No, I mean, and I have a source that told me that his elbow is worse than we think, and he could potentially be out for an extended length of time. Now, I don't know if this source has got accurate information. When I heard Dennis asking that question and then the follow-up about the elbow, I wonder if Dennis had heard the same thing that I had. So we'll see what happens. It's not good news, though, right now. I mean, I would love to be proven so wrong and have him out there in the lineup tonight, got treatment on my quad. The elbow feels fine, just a bruise. And go from there. But I have a lot of respect for all these guys that are playing through it right now. And the list is long on the San Diego Padres. Luis Arraez playing through the shoulder. Manny Machado's playing through everything he's played through. Fernando Tatis playing through everything he's played through. Jurickson Profar playing through everything he's played through. On and on we go.
Do we even mention Campy going down?
Campy's down right
Brett
now.
Sullivan got called up.
Yeah, I mean, all these guys. It's hard for me, man. It's hard for me when I see guys ripping dudes that are trying to play hurt because we don't have any other options. I mean, these guys are going to give you everything they have, and I do have a lot of respect for that. It is not easy.
All right, coming up at 7:35, we'll talk about Friday and Saturday's game, the game where Tatis got hurt, and whether or not retaliation is required, called for at this point.
It's over now.
I'm so sick of that conversation.
We'll discuss that coming up. Right now, though, let's get to today's game. Time for Take on Woods. Take on Woods brought to you by Valvoline Instant Oil Change. It only takes 15 minutes. You don't have to get out of your car. For directions and discounts, go to SoCalOilChange.com. That's SoCalOilChange.com. Let's go to line 4. Is this Ryan?
Yeah, this is Ryan.
All right,
How's it
Ryan,
going?
you're in. You want to play Take on Woods?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, you're the guy today with a chance to qualify for the grand prize, 2-night stay at the Fontainebleau, Las Vegas. Tickets to either Hootie and the Blowfish or Smashing Pumpkins, and a $150 poolside dining credit. Summer room packages and tickets are available now at FontainebleauLasVegas.com. All you have to do is beat or tie Woods in our 5-question musical trivia challenge, and I'll even give you the category here to give you the advantage. You can go with It's Not False. Think of things that are opposite of false. Rick's Cafe, those are musical artists named Rick. And From All Sides, 5 song titles, all featuring a different side. So of those 3, It's Not False, Rick's Cafe, or From All Sides. Ryan, what would you like to play?
Let's take the sides, please.
All right, the new category. We're coming at you from all sides today on Take on Wood, specifically 5 song titles, all featuring a different side in the title. You'll have 60 seconds to get as many as you can.
Mashed potatoes, green beans.
No,
sides?
not side dishes. Just different sides. You'll get it as you go along. 60 seconds. If you don't know an answer, say pass. We can come back to it if there's time remaining. The first question's our 2-second song. Paulie's going to play a little music. You need to give me the title, which includes a side, and the artist to score that point. Ryan, are you ready to play?
Yeah, let's do it.
All right, let's do it. 60 seconds on the clock. Your time begins when Paulie begins the music. The category From All Sides. Good luck, Ryan. Let's take on Woods.
How long will I slide?
The other side, Red Hot Chili Peppers.
Correct. One of the first songs they ever wrote, which 2003 debut hit by The Killers, remains the band's best-selling song more than 20 years later.
Bright Side.
Correct, Mr. Brightside. I'll give it to you. Subjects considered pretty taboo in the 1970s were a main feature of which hit considered Lou Reed's signature song?
Pass.
Which Phil Collins song from his No Jacket Required album shares a title with a Pixar movie about the inner workings of a teenage girl's mind?
Pass.
Usually considered a Christmas song, despite never referencing the holiday, which 1940s classic has faced criticism in recent years for lyrics in which a guy tries to get a visiting girl to stay the night.
Pass.
Subjects considered pretty taboo in the 1970s were a main feature of which hit considered Lou Reed's signature song?
Walk on the Wild Side?
Correct. Which Phil Collins... Okay, you got 3. You got Other Side by the Red Hot Chili Peppers, Mr. Brightside, and Walk on the Wild Side. Inside Out is the Phil Collins song and Pixar movie, and Baby It's Cold Outside...
Absolute creep.
Is the creepy Christmas carol that we've got going. It doesn't even mention Christmas. I don't know why we play it at Christmas.
I don't
It's
either.
very odd. All right, your score is locked in. Stay on the line, Ryan. We'll see if it's good enough today. Woods comes back in with no knowledge of the category. Coming at this blind. Put 60 seconds back on the clock. Woods, your time begins when Paul plays the music. Good luck. Let's take on Ryan.
How long
It's Red Hot Chili Peppers, other side.
Correct. One of the first songs they ever wrote, which 2003 debut hit by The Killers, remains the band's best-selling song more than 20 years later.
Mr. Brightside?
Correct. Subjects considered pretty taboo in the 1970s were a main feature of which hit considered Lou Reed's signature song.
Take a Walk on the Wild Side.
Correct, which Phil Collins' song from his No Jacket Required album shares a title with a Pixar movie about the inner workings of a teenage girl's mind.
Pass.
Usually considered a Christmas song, despite never referencing the holiday, which 1940s classic has faced criticism in recent years for lyrics in which a guy tries to get a visiting girl to stay the night.
I'll take your hand, it's swell. What's the name of that stupid song? Baby, It's Cold Outside.
Correct, which Phil Collins' song from his No Jacket Required album shares a title with a Pixar movie about the inner workings of a teenage girl's mind. All right, you got 4, and that's a 4-3 win. Inside Out is that one.
How's it go?
How does that song go?
Yeah.
I don't think I can sing it for you. You'll know it if you heard it.
Why? Why can't you sing it?
It's not the most familiar Phil Collins song.
Inside Out.
Yeah.
Okay.
But you got 4, and that gives you the win today, Woods. 4-3 in the category From All Sides.
Got it.
All right, Ryan, thank you for playing.
I'll take your hat. Your hair looks swell. Mind if I move closer?
Yes, I do.
What's the sense of hurting my pride? Baby, don't hold doubt. It's cold outside.
One of the best bits that's ever happened on radio, by the way.
All right, we are going to come back with Don't Do This, including a moment that even non-golfers were talking about yesterday from the Travelers Championship final hole and the chaotic scene on the 18th green yesterday on the PGA Tour. That is coming up after a check.
Is Brian Kenny going to take his
Yeah.
Mets
Is
to
he
task
going
today?
to do anything
All right,
at all?
Coming up next after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. Don't Do This, brought to you by the Craft Taco in Sereno Valley. Craft Taco has some of the best quality tacos in all of San Diego. Go to thecrafttaco.com. Take a look at their happy hour specials today. Thecrafttaco.com. What's
dirty, filthy, cheating New York Mets? I am disgusted with what I saw yesterday. New York Mets closer Edwin Diaz now facing a 10-game suspension. It was ejected. He said, no, it's just sweat and rosin. No. It was not.
Did you see the close-up of his
Oh,
hand?
my God, yeah. And what it looked like is I can't say on the radio. You know where my head's at, Paulie. You know exactly where my head's at. Remember something about Mary? And she takes her hand and rubs it through her hair, and her hair then stands straight up? That's what it looked like he did on his hand. All right? If you get my gist here. You know, I walked in last night after winning a championship, both my kids in the kitchen, putting sticky stuff on their hands, trying to get better tilt on their sliders, man, more spin. Beau's out there trying to increase his RPMs. I mean, these are the ramifications. Edwin Diaz, guy's just trying to spin the baseball. I'm just joking about that part, but yeah. So he's going to be, our guy Bob Suarez got popped for it last year. It happens. They're going to continue to monitor this.
Suarez also said it was nothing more than sweat and rosin.
Sweat and rosin's a good bit.
It's not a great rule, though. There's no definition other than if the umpires feel like it's stickier than normal.
Than sweat and rosin and dirt. Yeah.
Right.
His quote was, I think it's the same. They asked him if his hand was stickier than usual. He said, I think it's the same. They always check me. They let me pitch. I will keep using the same thing because they didn't find anything on my glove, my hat, or my belt. No, just caked all over your hands.
Yeah, just all over his hand. I mean, his fingers were stuck together.
Well, I'm sure Brian Kenny will hold his Mets accountable, just like he did with Joe Musgrove.
I wonder if he will play it down.
Joe Musgrove still has not been shown to have done anything wrong at all, by the way.
Right.
Yep. Correct. I wonder if he'll play it down the middle. I wonder if he will defend him, losing even more credibility, which is hard to do if you're Brian Kenny. But we'll see how that plays out. But yeah, they're going to be without Edwin Diaz for 10 games. That's a lot. That's a good deterrent, man. I mean, really, it's a really good deterrent to not do it. Missing 10 games as the closer is pretty gnarly.
All right, you missed quite the finish yesterday.
I
if you
heard.
weren't watching the final round of the Travelers Championship elevated event on the PGA Tour, is Scotty Scheffler made 3 birdies in a row, charging up the leaderboard against Tom Kim. Came to the 18th hole. Scheffler was one up on Kim. Scheffler put his ball on the fringe about 25 feet away. Kim nearly made an eagle from the fairway, inches away from what would have been a dunk walk-off win in the tournament. So instead, they go to the green. Kim's got a putt to force a playoff, get to 22 under. But right before both players step up to their putts, 6 people come running in from the crowd. One runs through the bunker, flying onto the green, throwing smoke bombs in different colors, red and white smoke bombs all over the greens.
Guy got absolutely laid out.
The cops come out and they do the entire tackle on the green. But this is right.
Patrick Willis.
The hole is 2 feet away. It's
yeah.
right there where they're about to putt for the winning tournament. So they're
How many guys? 2 guys?
6.
6 guys.
6. They were climate protesters that stormed the green. Their T-shirts read "No golf on a dead planet" in black lettering on the front. It created a delay of several minutes while the protesters were dragged off of the green, charged with first-degree criminal mischief, first-degree criminal trespass, and breach of peace.
One guy's jogging like an old man and just gets to the level.
Yeah. I haven't seen a tackle like that since last year's Canadian Open when one of the Canadian golfers got tackled and he was trying to congratulate his fellow countrymen on the win. But so the tournament eventually continued. Kim made his putt to force the playoff, and then they actually moved the location of the hole for the playoff because they were playing the 18th again, though they wanted to move it away from any potential damage and paint on the greens. And Scotty Scheffler ended up winning again with a par on the extra hole, his 7th win of the season. Before July, 7 wins. You know how many times Tiger did 7 wins before July? 0. Wow. Never. Scotty Scheffler and Arnold Palmer, the only 2 people who have ever done that. And he's won only big tournaments. He won the Masters, the Players' Championship, and 5 of the 8 elevated events they've had on the PGA Tour this year.
He's like the Padres. He only beats the good in the good ones.
True.
He beats the good ones.
He's having a remarkable season for the ages on the PGA Tour. So there's not the only climate protest in the news, though, this weekend, because apparently with the Paris Olympics coming up, they are worried about the bad condition of the Seine River, the river that flows through the heart of Paris. Where
I would say it's a beautiful river, but it is not.
So they're intending to hold the open water swimming competitions in that river.
Nope, can't do it there. No.
And because it has gotten pretty bad.
Ben, we rode bird scooters around Paris, and there were bird scooters floating at the bottom of the Seine. Like, every 20 yards, there's a bird scooter in the Seine.
I think they've been trying to clean it up for the Olympics, but they've only gotten so far. Now there's a protest that apparently is going on today, and I don't know how effective this is going to be, but to prove how terrible the conditions the Seine has gotten, protesters are planning to all defecate into the river.
That means doo-doo.
Yes, into the river. Like, there's even schedules, like, depending on how far away you are from Paris, like what time you should poop in the river to make sure it's flowing right through Paris at the right time of the day. I don't know how many people are taking part in this, but it's like a thing that's on social media. Like, today's the day to do your business in the Seine River, to show everybody how dirty it is.
That'll show them.
That'll show them.
Well, I mean, you're making it dirtier by adding your
yes, exactly. You're not helping the cause necessarily.
What's what are they doing in it again? What's the event?
Open water swimming.
I worked my whole life for this.
Yeah.
I worked my whole life. I swam. I busted my tail.
The pinnacle of
my athletic achievement. And you're telling me that I have to potentially go swim in this doo-doo river through Paris? Not worth
if you're
it.
an open water swimmer, obviously you've probably swam in some not perfect conditions before.
For not perfect conditions is one thing.
There's a big difference.
Poop water is way, way different to me. How'd you feel about those protesters at the golf? Now it's so it's golf. So that
I heard some golf people absolutely losing their mind. Like,
Reindl
these people
Report.
should never, they should never
see the light of day again.
Lock them up.
Throw them in jail forever. And I think it's pretty counterproductive. I mean, a golf tournament is not exactly the worst climate offender out there. Everyone's just out there playing golf.
Yeah,
it's
but
not,
it's the
they want the attention.
They do, but
of,
it's the
of the 18th green.
But yeah, there's some people that get mad that people play golf because of the resources it takes and the land that it uses. I understand.
I mean, that's a different issue. But in terms of open space, green grass, trees, that's actually good. Golf is actually good for the environment in that sense. I mean, yeah, there's some water usage. But in terms of climate change, we want more green, open spaces in the world. So golf isn't the biggest offender there. I have at least the motivations. They want to save the planet. And to me, you may be misguided and misdirected in how you're trying to do it, but they want a better planet for their kids and their grandchildren, and they feel like this is what's required. I disagree with that, but I can't totally say I don't have some empathy for people who all they want to do is make sure that the planet is going to be here for future generations.
Yeah, I like a rabble-rouser, too. I do. I like a rabble-rouser. I think, sometimes the energy can be a little bit misguided. I did not see it live. I did finally find somebody on the planet that's slower than me, watching that one guy run across the green. But I got a really nice do this.
DD Mega Doo-Doo.
Got a great DM from, he just asked me to use his first name, Ryan. Said, wanted to write this to you guys as a thank you. About 2.5 months ago, I was laid off from my job. Got a 6-year-old, 3-year-old, same here. Got an 8-month-old, too. Obviously, the timing and circumstance was less than ideal. The news of my layoff literally has not been shared with anyone other than my wife. Not my parents, my in-laws, even my closest friends, as I've been sort of embarrassed. Always prided myself on being a great involved dad. During this time, I've had the opportunity to spend even more quality time with my kids, especially my baby. Times have been hard. I've had the consistent routine of putting in my AirPods every single morning, opening up the YouTube stream. The joy and positive vibes I get from the show you guys put on gets me on the right track. I know you guys always joke about mailing it in or not having your best show, but it doesn't matter to me. Your show is always something I look forward to, whether I listen live, need to catch up later. I haven't met you guys in person. We've interacted on Twitter. The way you run your show makes me feel like it's a big family. Well, after 2.5 long months, I start a new job on Monday. That's today.
Yes.
One in an industry I'm knowledgeable in, one with health benefits, one that will allow me to still be around and in my kids' lives. One that I will still have time to listen to the show and listen to you guys and bust Ben's and Adam's balls. So thanks for always being there for me, even when you don't know that you are, Ryan. Made my day, Ryan. Good luck to you on the new gig today, man. And
most importantly, it's a job where you said you can keep listening to us.
Yeah, that is most important. And being with your kids.
Yeah,
1 and 1A, we'll say.
Health insurance.
Yeah,
health insurance is pretty good.
Providing for your family.
That's right.
Something like that.
But listening to us mostly.
Mostly, I listen to
No,
us.
that feeling of being, without a gig for a couple months with kids, it happened to me when Beau was a baby. The stress of that is just, there's nothing like it in the world. Nothing. The embarrassment that you feel. So, man, I'm so happy for you, proud of you, going out and getting that new gig today. Kick some ass, man. We're not going anywheres. We'll be here for you.
And that is Don't and Do This for a Monday.
That was Don't Do This with Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan.
Seen a lot of the chatter on the YouTube stream about elitist golf courses and how it's bad for the world. Now, you weren't out at Goat Hill Park. It's the least elitist golf course you're ever going to see. They're not all like that. Some of them are, though. Some of them are pretty snobby. I will acknowledge that. Those are the ones that I really want. Those are the ones I want to play at most.
If you took every other golf course and made it, say, a public park or
how about that, Ben?
An area for more housing.
Yeah, you're beloved.
That wouldn't be the worst thing.
But have you seen a lot of public
there
parks you go to that no
golf
one's
courses in
there
San
at the
Diego?
public park and no one's even using it? People are using golf courses all day long.
They really are.
They're
too many. Actually.
Absolutely packed right now because people love golf. It's a great pastime. And
Ben is very mad. He said there should be fewer golf courses. That way, the elitist tools who love it most, Ben, can exclude even more of the poor people they hate. That is actually that's dead on. That's dead on.
That's exactly Ben to a T.
To a T. But he plays it. His rationale is. Sorry, I play at Goat Hill Park. You can bring your dogs, you can wear flip-flops, and you don't even have to wear a shirt. It's very non-elitist. And that's your home course.
It is very non-elitist, and it is my home course,
so
and I love it there.
You say suck it.
Only when he's not at Rancho
Do I want to
Santa Fe.
play those elitist courses? Yes, I do. I do. As many as I can.
Now, they do a good job at recycling water there.
California courses have done much better in terms of water recycling and using a lot less water in recent years. It's not an issue everywhere. Like courses in Hawaii, they don't even have sprinklers. There's plenty of places in the world. There's plenty of rain. Yeah. Obviously, water usage is a bigger deal here in California. It's something they're always looking to do better at. But parks use water as well. I mean, it's anything that needs to grow grass.
So
needs
you're
water.
basically just telling everyone back to your shanties. You go back to your shanties. I'm going to continue to play golf.
Damn you.
I am the Shooter McGavin of this show. There's no doubt about that. All right, we'll come back. Want to talk about, you mentioned it, you teased it. All right, Fernando Tatis Jr., are they ever going to protect him? Is that a mission? Is that not important anymore? What's going on with that? And we'll take a look back at the previous 2 games of the Brewers series. All coming up next year on 97.3 The Fan. Woods is escorting Beau to the restroom. Because when you got to go, you just got to go. You can't make a 6-year-old wait.
Yeah, figure it out, Beau.
That's never a good plan. No. Well, you know what? We've got one more segment here. Now, 12 minutes. I will take you to the restroom. That is just asking for trouble when you've brought your 6-year-old to work. So I said, go. You'll be back probably by the time we get done with traffic, and we can talk about Fernando Tatis Jr. and if the Padres are ever going to take a stand. And I guess it wasn't with the Milwaukee Brewers, but say enough is enough. This pitching inside has got to be answered, and we will get to that after a check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
For the most part, folks are doing a pretty good job staying out of trouble on our roads. Westbound 52, our Cordell and Cordell traffic cam shows you got a little bit of company coming out of Santee, but once you are past Santo Road, you're in real good shape. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Wood, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So Friday night was a solid come-from-behind victory for the San Diego Padres. Fell behind, 4-1, and then rallied back for the 9-5 win. But in the course of that game, Fernando Tatis Jr. took that pitch off the elbow, ended up having to leave the game, and has not played since for your San Diego Padres. And you were wondering whether any time later on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you might see, as we've been kind of wondering about for a while, you might see San Diego Padres pitcher throw one in toward one of the players on the other team. I don't remember seeing anything that I would classify as any sort of retaliation or message being sent to the Milwaukee Brewers. And that has been the case so far this year. That, the Padres have not really answered any of these inside pitches, Woods. And I know it bothers you more than it bothers me because, putting a runner on base in, these close games that you can lose by one run quite easily, I don't ever know is exactly the right way to respond to an inside pitch.
Tough, man, because you saw it backfire against the Yankees and the Orioles when Victor Rodriguez hit Gunnar Henderson in the back after Aaron Judge and Gleyber Torres were both hit on the hands, up and in. I think they both stayed in the game that night. I'm not sure. But, yeah, you saw them retaliate the next day. Gunnar Henderson gets on. I believe he stole second, then scored the go-ahead run. Yankees end up dropping 2 of 3 to the Orioles, their division rival. So I certainly understand the argument against it, but I do probably have more bloodlust than you on the show, especially when it comes to protecting a superstar player, a cornerstone player, one that when he gets hit on the elbows now hasn't played in 3 days, And the only thing that kind of bugs me is this, is it doesn't need to come from Mike Schilt. So again, I don't want to alibi Mike Schilt here entirely, but it should not have to come from him. It should not have had to come from Bob Melvin. It should not have had to come from Jace Tingler, and it should not have had to come from Andy Green. It really should never have to come from the manager. The veteran pitchers, or let's be honest, the veteran position players need to say, hey, man, are we good with this? We're not? Okay, then let's let them know we've got that pitch too. You always hear
I got it. That's all you got to say.
Yeah, I got it. Don't worry about it. Johnny Brito, we've got guys, Ben, that can go in and dot Reese Hoskins on the hip and, say, all right, let's, just so you know, we've got it in our arsenal as well. But again, that's the part for me that I've never really seen here is the guys kind of step up and say, no, this is not going to fly.
Now, does anyone think that Fernando Tatis Jr. was being thrown out intentionally? To me, it's simply the strategy for Tatis is bust him inside and then try to get him on the outside slider. That's the best way. It's not always effective, but
I don't know that Aaron Judge was thrown at intentionally
either,
but he's a superstar that got hit in the hand.
My question is,
in a rivalry game,
does retaliation, knowing that the San Diego Padres are a team that's not going to stand for this, and if we throw inside, they're going to throw inside at us, is that going to stop anyone from throwing inside at Tatis?
I think not.
I just don't think it's going to. If that's the way to get him out, they're going to continue to throw inside.
Well,
regardless of what the Padres do or do not respond.
Well, that's like saying, that's like saying, I don't want to go to jail for assault, so you can just keep punching me in the face. It's fine. I don't want to throw a punch here. You just keep hitting me, and I'll just sit and wear it over and over. And again, it's not the first time.
But you're presuming, are they going to stop punching you in the face if you punch back? I just think now you just have two people who are boxing and punching at each other, but I don't think it changes anything. Tatis will face inside pitching probably his entire career, no matter what the Padres
inside pitching is different than, where he gets pitched. Like, they're throwing inside, sure, but they're going up and in. Up and in is off limits. And, the funny thing is in a retaliation scenario, you don't actually have to go up and into their guy. You just have to dot him on the shoulder not on the shoulder, on the butt and say, we got it too, man. Like, it's not like you tell your pitchers to cool it and we'll cool it and everything's cool, right? After that. But I just think, the Mike Schilt needs to order a hit bit. I don't know that exists anymore. Also, you know what? That is what's kind of embarrassed me about this team over the last 6 years of covering them with you guys, is that it never should be on the manager. It should never be on the manager. A player should see that and go, this isn't happening. Like, then the manager's kind of absolved of like, oh, no, man, just, got away from him. I mean, it happens all the time. The game has policed itself for 100 years, and you don't need the manager to do it. It needs to come from the veteran leadership on the team, the veteran pitching staff, letting guys know that, like, if Yelich got dotted, you don't think he goes into the clubhouse and tells whoever hit Tatis, hey, just watch it, man. Come on. I don't want to sit up there and wear pitches because you can't control your fastball. Yeah, I think there is an effect of that. And, it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Back in the 70s and 80s, bro, they would just every other hitter. They'd just go right after him. Like, that didn't fly back then. So, again, man, he's a huge, huge piece of this team, this lineup, this city, everything. And he spends a lot of time on his ass. He does, and he has for the last 6 years.
I guess I would think it was a bigger problem if I was hearing any rumbling from the Padres, like, that they feel like they're a team that doesn't support each other, that no one cares about. And that's not the sense I ever get from the Padres. Even in the bad season last year, really wasn't a lot of, like, talk, like, guys that didn't have each other's backs or anything.
There's an infallible way to show that you have your teammates back, and that's it. And again, please don't misinterpret that I'm calling to hurt somebody or ruin somebody's career. I'm not. There's a right way to do it. I've said that 1,000 times. Like, you do not have to go up and into Willie Adames or Reese Hoskins or, their best players. You do not have to go up near their head. You don't have to go up near their shoulders. But you do need to go at their hip. And it hurts, but it doesn't hurt that bad when you get hit in the butt. I don't have a lot of cake back there, but it still doesn't hurt that bad. You can wear it and you walk down to first and know this is part of the game. And, I think once he wears it, he goes back into the clubhouse and lets his guys know, hey, because again, back when pitchers had to hit, it was a little bit different story. But yeah, man, it's just kind of a bummer to see. And like you said, I haven't heard any rumblings of them, not getting along or not having each other's back. I'm not saying this is a rumbling that's happening. I'm just saying that they haven't done it to this point. They have never, defended this kid and let him know, like, yeah, you're important to us.
I think this is kind of spicy. I'm curious to know what some of the Tier 1s think on this issue. And we have some time coming up in our next hour. If you want to join us, 833-288-0973. We can open up the phone lines a little bit. 833-288-0973. Want to talk some Padres baseball with Ben and Woods. We'll also need to talk a little bit about those games on Friday and Saturday. Two guys with almost identical haircuts in Jackson Merrill and Jake Cronenworth.
Yeah.
Getting some big offense done for the San Diego Padres over the weekend. Talk about all of that coming up in the second half of Ben and Woods next on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
All right, we are halfway home on a Monday, a beautiful Monday out there this morning. Great to be here with you. Ben and Woods, 97.3, The Fan. Lovely, lovely day so far. I'm Woodsy. That's Paul Reindl. He's the executive producer. Ben Higgins, your friendly neighborhood sports anchor. And parents, if you've got kids in the car, I would give us a beat. I've been trying to get better about that. We do cover some adult topics on this show, and because we're adults, and we do an adult show, but it does go off the rails a little bit from time to time. And Ben had a question.
Well, I didn't realize this was an adult topic. I thought, honestly, I was on Twitter this weekend, and I didn't have time to just go down the rabbit hole, but I kept seeing the same phrase coming up over and over again.
What was that phrase?
It was said, Hawk Tuah.
Save that.
And I was trying to figure out, well, what does that even mean? It doesn't make any sense to me. I thought maybe it was like...
Say it again.
Hawk Tuah. I thought maybe it was like Piggy Suey, like Arkansas Razorbacks, or War Eagle. Hawk Tuah, like go Hawks. Like Atlanta Falcons must cheer that or something when they're... Or Atlanta Hawks, fans cheer that. Like Hawk Tuah.
Like Adam.
Hawk Tuah, yeah. Adam would go...
runs around the studio.
Yeah, Hawk Tuah.
Hawk Tuah.
Let's do it. Hawk Tuah.
Hawk Tuah. Let's get it.
Kind of sounds like hop to it. Let's get
hop
going.
To it. Let's hawk to it, guys.
Get going.
Well, you saw Bryce Harper did the Hawk Tuah celebration. I'd say it's a celebration.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Get a double. Padres do this.
Do they do the and then the heart? Yeah. Hawk Tuah. So you don't really know what the origin, the meaning of it?
No clue.
Nobody says.
I just kept seeing that phrase over and over again.
Nobody says this is a family show. It isn't, and I'm glad that it is for a lot of you. But it's not meant to be. Look, if I had my druthers, we'd be on Sirius. Okay, that's just the case. Then it would be on. She'd be in this morning, in studio. The Hawk Tuah girl.
No, she wouldn't, because she's like the biggest celebrity now
That's
in
true.
America.
Yeah, we couldn't get her. We could not get her
in an election year. In a time where nobody can agree on anything.
She lost her job, Brandon said? No way. No, she did not.
Yeah, she was like a preschool or kindergarten teacher at a private school.
Wow. Ma'am. Well, all right, so play the clip. This is how it all came out.
Oh, you gotta give him that Hawk Tuah and spit on that thing.
Do you understand yet? With the context of the next part.
I now, it's not hawk like Atlanta Hawks. It's like
Hawkaloogie.
Spit. Isn't that Hock?
Yeah.
Hawk.
Yeah.
Oh,
Because everywhere I saw was HAWK, like hawk, like a bird. So I was thinking it had something to do with a bird.
I think you're getting in the weeds.
That Hawk Tuah.
And then what else?
Hawk Tuah and spit on that thing.
I like how she says thang. Reminds me of the girls I went to high school with.
Thang.
Spit on that thing.
Thang.
Reminds me of all of my relatives would say thang.
Hawk Tuah and spit on that thing.
It was everywhere. I mean, it went. Things go viral and things go crazy and they go too fast. And then we get burned out on them. I'm already burned out on it, as I tend to do. My window's really about 24 hours. And I'm like, all right, we get it. How many songs and bits can you do with it? But when you asked me and Paulie off the air, what was this thing that what was this thing?
I was out of the loop this
What
weekend.
was this thing that everyone was talking about? She lost her job? That's trash, dude. Come on.
If she's referring to now what I'm imagining she's referring to, and Paulie said she was a preschool or kindergarten teacher at a private school.
Read that.
Yeah.
Private schools
They
tend
can do
to
whatever they want.
Yeah, they can just kind of do what they want.
Yeah, but let's not act like private school teachers don't do that. Maybe they just don't say it.
I think there is a differentiation between what you quietly do.
Now they're saying it's fake.
The whole thing is fake.
No, that's a real thing. But they're saying that she did not lose her job. Good, nor should she. So you get it now?
She didn't commit any crimes.
No.
From what I am gleaning here.
No. It's not a crime, by the way, out there. despite what my wife might think. It's not a crime. It's a fun thing. She's a bartender. Yeah, she definitely didn't lose her job. She's not a teacher. So much disinformation on the internet. It changes in 30 seconds. Good for her. So you get it now. The light bulb went off.
What was the context of why was she being on video?
Somebody asked her, what do you do that could really, make things better?
Donate your time to charity.
In the bedroom. I think it was
pick up trash.
Yeah, pick up trash on the side of the road. No.
Let's make the world a better place. Or where are we going here?
Let's be honest. She is definitely making the world a better place, in my opinion. Now, it went crazy, as it always does. Paulie, give me just the gist of everything that happened. Because again, Bryce Harper hits a double, slides in the second, and does the next day.
What, now, is there a maneuver that...
Yeah, she just told you what it was.
Well, yeah, but you can't do that at second base.
Sure you can. And he did it.
No,
did you not
can't.
see this? Pull it up.
I didn't see this, no.
You did not see this.
There's only one I want. I love you, Pookie, forever.
I love you, too. Yeah, he did the maneuver.
I can't imagine.
Pull it up.
What you have me imagining now is something you can't do at second base.
Pull it up.
Just want live reaction to Ben watching Bryce Harper.
Yeah. Yes.
How'd you miss that?
Kevin says, Ben thinks it's a better way to clean golf clubs. Yes, you could do that. It's a decent one. My dad does that.
I will do that with my my golf ball on the green.
Talk
when
to
there's
it.
little,
My
dirt
dad-
or grass. It needs a little. Just you need to scrape it off a little bit.
Playing golf with my dad, he'll hit his shot. He'll walk over to his bag and he'll do the hawk, and then he'll clean it with his towels. My dad's a big hawk Tuah. Yeah, he spits on that thing, which is like his 4-iron.
Spit on that thing.
Yeah. Hey, Dad, how'd you clean that 7-iron?
Oh, you gotta give him that hawk to it. Spit on that thing.
Yep, that's right. You get me? You find it yet?
It seems to have been removed from the internet.
Get
where
out
I
of
just
here.
went.
I'll find it.
Paulie will find it. So, yeah, that was a fun-ish viral moment. And I'm sure they created some songs.
Oh, yeah. AI did what
AI did some songs.
AI
Okay,
does.
let's hear it. Country song. Makes sense.
Underneath the moonlight, stars shining bright.
It's Jason Aldean.
She went home to her and
my
spat
God.
on that thing. What a pretty sight.
All right.
She made me
enough.
go
That's
crazy
enough. That's
every
enough.
time
I don't
she
want to hear
did it.
anymore.
What a wild delight.
I don't like
think her name was Haley. Where'd you run? We were hotter than a summer's day, hotter than the sun.
I don't like bro country as it is, much less bro country about that. He's looking for treasure.
I'm looking. Let's see. I still
putting it
don't
up
see
on
it.
the,
He did a home run here.
I'm putting it up on the stream right now. It was not after a home run. It was after a double.
Double.
And I'm looking at the wrong clip.
It's very
I'll
uncomfortable.
pull it up for you.
It's like the morning he came in and asked us, Paulie, what WAP is. Remember that? He's like, hey, what does WAP mean?
I wasn't sure if we should pronounce WAP or WAP.
Well, that's an Italian slur. So thanks for getting us canceled. Sorry, Italian Paul. Sorry about that.
See it, Ben?
Let's see. The ball is being thrown in.
There's merch. Somebody said there's merch on this.
Yeah.
Some edgelord is going to wear a Hawk Tuah shirt out to the ballpark. They're probably not going to let you in. You mean, what? I couldn't wear my Hawk Tuah shirt? No, you can't wear your Hawk Tuah shirt.
Just to be clear, I was thinking like doo-wop. Doo-wop.
What is what's WAP?
It's like he's like another one of my children.
What is what's WAP?
I'm gonna have to explain all this stuff to these guys at some point.
Just add it to the list here. All right, Hawk Tuah.
Hawk Tuah. Yep. Yeah, it was a fun one. I'm over it though. She's had her more than 50
Oh, you
years.
gotta give him that hawk to it. Spit on that thing.
So stupid. So stupid.
Oh my God.
That's our sweet, sweet little innocent Ben. Bryce Harper is pretty good. He's a bit of a panderer. He panders a lot.
Oh yeah.
But I mean, you saw the home run he hit in London. And he ran and did the soccer slide. Like he knows he's a
showman.
He's a showman, right? He's a showman. And he got to second and gave her the
almost like he's thinking, what can I do to go viral?
Yeah, Adam Klug would love him as an employee. Because Bryce, can you recreate this? He said, no problem. 100%. Yeah, give me the Big Bomba class, Polly. No, I think that's a really...
Big Bomba class before busting on my head.
Yeah, I had to explain that to my children at home.
How'd that go?
As well. Went really well. Really well. So there's that viral moment that happened over the weekend, certainly. We can get back into some Padres baseball, as I know that I definitely want to. You know it's bad when I'm ready to get back to talking about Padres baseball. I can't wait for you to see that clip, though.
I saw it on our stream.
You did see it?
Yeah.
What are your thoughts?
I mean, if I didn't have any context, which I didn't,
you'd go,
it looks
what
like
in the
he's
world?
just spitting on something, is what it looks like.
Well, that's kind of the whole...
Yeah. Ball players spit all the time.
They do.
It's very common.
They don't usually mimic that, though, from what I've seen. Yeah.
I mean, you have to use your imagination as to what he might be or might not be doing. Yeah, let's turn our attention back to the Padres. I'd feel more comfortable if we did that.
We're going to play Take on Woods again later, but it's going to be a different
kind
woods.
of woods.
Different woods.
Yeah, putting together some questions for Beau Woods for a chance to win some Padres tickets.
This comment in the chat, Rob. She's anything like my neighbor. She learned it from her mom. Holy smokes.
Oh, my
wow.
God.
Dang.
Oh.
Would you be mad if you were her dad?
Mad. I might feel a little
embarrassed.
embarrassed.
As Ben.
No, I might feel a little.
What would you feel? Shame?
No, just a little uncomfortable. Like,
yeah.
I don't know. That's what I want my daughter to be famous for. Certainly would respect her personal
life
choices and personal life, but I wouldn't want that to be what she was best known for in the entire world.
Literally, though.
Yeah.
Like, that is literally what she's famous for today and for the rest of her
life. If it's just
life.
a small part of an otherwise fruitful and productive life, yeah, that's fine, whatever. But, you know, if that's your signature moment forever, that might be rough.
Once again.
Oh, you'll hear that drop again in the Tournament of Drops.
Oh, yeah. Once again, I am very happy that I have two little boys. Keep them off the internet. Used to be keep them off the pole, and now it's just keep them off the internet, man. Holy smokes.
All right, we're going to take a time out. Have you seen the Rookie of the Year odds continuing to shrink for one Jackson Merrill? And by shrink, I mean get more toward even money as opposed to the 10 to 15 to 1 shot he was about a week ago. Jackson Merrill continues to tear it up. We'll talk about Jackson and some of the Padres who are getting the job done right now. After a check of traffic here with more Ben and Woods on 97.3 The Fan. This hour on 97.3 The Fan brought to you by the San Diego County Fair. Still underway. Let's go retro at the San Diego County Fair now through July 7th. The Magic of the Midway live concerts and a nostalgic celebration of fashion, culture, and more. Buy your tickets online. Learn more at what's happening at sdfair.com. That's sdfair.com. Question for you, Woods, or Paul, both of you. If we went back to spring training, end of February, which Padre had the best odds to win the Rookie of the Year award in the National League?
Would be Jackson Merrill.
That is incorrect.
It would be which rookie? Yuki Matsui.
Yuki Matsui actually had the best odds in spring training. If you were going to bet on a Padre to win the Rookie of the Year award, would have been Yuki Matsui at about 50-1.
Man,
Jackson Merrill was 70-1 on February 28th. You know what that was? About 80-1 was Ethan Salas to win the Rookie of the Year award in the National League. Jackson Merrill was only a slightly more favored to win the NL Rookie of the Year than Ethan Salas back in February. This was before, of course, he was named on the team, a starter, or anything. Didn't even know if he was going to, break camp with the San Diego Padres.
I remember laughing at you incessantly when you said that he could win Rookie of the Year after like 4 games. I did. I laughed at you incessantly.
It was still a pretty the odds were pretty long. A week ago, he was still about the 8th or 9th choice. Double digits to 1, 10-1, 15-1. Now this morning, if you wake up and look at the National League Rookie of the Year odds, the favorite is Paul Skeens of the Pittsburgh Pirates, -125.
Somebody just said they bought into Skeens at Rookie of the Year at plus 3,000. Today's at -190.
Damn.
And then the next 2 choices are Shota Imanaga and Jackson Merrill, plus 350.
Boy, Imanaga's fallen off hard. He's on my fantasy team.
He has definitely had his, that's part of the reason why Jackson Merrill's been moving up, because Shota Imanaga is looking much more human.
I want to say this. I'll just say this for the record. I don't like players that were professionals coming here and winning Rookie of the Year, like Yamamoto, Yuki Matsui even, and Imanaga. Like, they were professional ball players, right?
Yeah.
They're not, Jackson Merrill is a literal rookie. And I know they're all starting in the same league at the same time, but those guys played professionally in not some scrub league either.
Remember,
you know what I mean?
Ichiro came over, won MVP and Rookie of the
Yeah,
Year.
yeah.
But it's like, bro, he had played like 12 years
Yes.
professionally in Japan. He
It's
was
like-
the next Michael Jordan type guy.
And by the way, you could do International Rookie of the Year. Fine by me. Create a new award. You can do whatever you want. International Rookie of the Year is great. Your first time in the big leagues, there is a transition. We just talked to Mike Schilt about this on Friday. He was talking about Yuki Matsui. Hey, guys, don't forget, he's
just a separate category for under age 25 and over age 25.
Yeah, 100%. I just think, again, you played professionally in Japan. And again, not a scrub league at all. A really, really good competitive baseball league, no matter where they come from. Korea, KBO, Japan, whatever. With teams going out and signing more of those guys, it's going to make it harder for guys like Jackson Merrill, who did come up through the minor leagues and and make their way into the big leagues. And I understand the playing field, I guess, is technically level, but it doesn't rub me the wrong way. But if Yamamoto won Rookie of the Year over Jackson Merrill, that would bum me out.
Well, right now, midway through the season, it's kind of a 3-person race. After Merrill, you drop all the way down to Joey Ortiz of the Brewers we just saw. Who's a good young ball player, but he's at like 12, 13-1, I think. So it's down to kind of Skeens, Imanaga, and Merrill, and any one of them could get it based on how the second half of the season goes. Jackson, of course, continued his tear on Saturday with a 440-foot 3-run blast to center field to break the scoreless tie in that game against the Milwaukee Brewers. I thought that 400-foot blast he hit a few days ago was like something. That was an absolute power hitter bomb that he hit on Saturday night.
I was there.
Yeah.
And I was sitting in, our beloved friends, the Dailies, invited us to sit down in their home plate seats, where you're 15 feet from home plate. And you can hear it. You can hear the fastballs whistling in. The umpire was coming over to chat you up between innings. It's such a cool experience to be able to do that. Thank you to Patrick for having us. It was brilliant. When he hit it, my head was down just for a split second, and I just heard, crack! And I was like, oh, my God. I looked up and center fielder's running, and he's like, no, there's no way. That ball was murdered by that kid. Murdered. Did anybody think that kid would finish? If you would have asked me in spring training, hey, will he hit 10 home runs in his rookie campaign? I'd say that's the absolute ceiling for him. 10 max, and it's going to be a stretch to get there. Now I'm looking at this kid going, sky's the limit for him, man. It's been unreal.
He could get hot and push for 30.
Right? I mean, 30 seems like a stretch, but I also thought 10 was a stretch. So
he'll have 13, 14, 15 maybe by the All-Star break. You never
Paulie,
know.
if he keeps up on this, his pace right now over what he's done the last 10 games or so is insane.
What tool does Jackson Merrill not already possess at age 21? Of the 5 tools, which are, hit for average, hit for power, field, run, and throw. If you look at his sliders right now, they're all in the red.
He looks like a 5-tool player right now.
They look like they're all in the red at this point. We thought power might take a while. We thought learning center field, fielding's going to take a while. But he covers a ton of ground out there. He's getting better every single day. We saw his arm on display this weekend when he had another outfield assist at second base. They tried to test his arm. That didn't work out well for the Milwaukee Brewers. Jackson Merrill is doing everything well right now. It is so impressive, and he continues to do it with a level head. But he's also not that rookie who just sits there and is seen but not heard. He's got some fire and passion and seems to fire up his teammates. He's got some intangibles. The 6 tool seems to do that as well. Right now, Jackson Merrill is bringing everything to the table for the San Diego Padres.
Oh, man, he's turned himself into a real leader. I want to talk to Sammy Levitt about that because Sammy's had a chance to get some really good comments from him lately. Talking about, hey, we're effing ballers and we're gamers and all that. I mean, he's a leader. He's a leader in that clubhouse. He's a guy that people are looking to, already. At 21 years old, he's been in the league for 80 games. I mean, it's just insane.
Now, to be honest, it's going to be tough to win it away from Paul Skeens if he continues to pitch the way he's pitching. He's got the just that national, cachet right now.
He's got that hawk Tuah about him.
he does. And, yeah, I mean, he's still throwing 102 on his last pitch of his start over the weekend. Skeens is now. Does he have a pitch limit though? As a rookie, are they going to be careful with him?
I'm sure
if the Pirates fall out of it, and they're still in the wild card race. But if they're not, are they going to back off of him the last 3 or 4 weeks of the season and go, let's save him for next year? That could impact a Rookie of the Year chase for Jackson Merrill. Just one of those fun things to keep an eye out here on the second half of the season for the Padres.
And I'm going to ask, because I know Sammy asked him about Rookie of the Year, and his response was fantastic. You couldn't have drawn it up in the cliche the cliche factory any better than he did. So he's fantastic. There's nothing not to love about Jackson Merrill right now.
We will talk to Sammy Levitt about Jackson Merrill and more when we come back. First, though, we got some tickets to give away. The San Diego Legion down to the last game of the regular season before they hit the playoffs. They'll be hosting the Seattle Seawolves this Saturday at Snapdragon Stadium. And if you want to see some live rugby action in person, you can win now. Tickets at 833-288-0973. Fourth caller going to win a pair of tickets to the Legion at 833-288-0973.
I saw them practicing the other day. They practiced in Encinitas Community Park. You guys, you look in the mirror and you think you're a man. And then you look at the San Diego Legion guys walking off of practice, and I shrunk down in my car. I was like, I can't let them see me. Bro, those guys are units. Units! It's incredible. Incredible to see.
I've been watching some of their games, and I'm figuring out rugby, some of the rules and nuances. I go, I'm not there yet, but I'm getting there. And you can get there, too, by going to sdlegion.com. Get your own tickets for the season finale against the Seattle Seawolves this Saturday at Snapdragon Stadium. Good luck. Call in to win, and we'll talk with Sammy Levitt coming up next year on 97.3 The Fan. Don't forget to tune in every Thursday at 10 a.m. for the 97.3 The Fan commercial-free Padres Roundtable featuring Ben Woods, Annie and Elston, Gwynn and Chris, presented by San Diego Roundtable Pizza. For takeout or delivery, go to roundtablepizza.com. Roundtable, the last honest pizza. You mentioned while we were talking about Jackson Merrill and his Rookie of the Year candidacy, the interview from the clubhouse over the weekend. Sammy Levitt always doing a great job.
Been crushing it.
And one of the questions he got was about the possibility of him chasing that Rookie of the Year award. Here's what Jackson had to say.
Already, but your name's popping up there in Rookie of the Year conversations. Have you allowed yourself to think about that at all?
I don't even care about that stuff, dude. I couldn't care less about any Rookie of the Year votings or All-Star votings. I care about our team right here. I care about winning here.
It's my guy.
Good answer.
There's a player on the tier ones that I don't want to call out by name, Nick. My man's out there in the middle of an inning. Hey, was that
Playoff
an RBI playoff game? Did I get an RBI in that?
That's an RBI.
Is that an RBI? Are you out of your mind?
You got
It's
me
the
down
second
two
inning.
for 3 with an RBI, right?
Baseball, Nick. What? You were stat ratting?
Manny did that after a sac fly in the 8th inning yesterday too. I could see him walking back to the guy. That was an RBI. He was looking up to the press box. It's an RBI.
It's fine.
No, he didn't.
He did
not do that.
It'd be fine if he did. Yeah, you stat ratting out there in the middle of a game.
There has been a bit of a push,
Unreal.
at least statistically. If you go by the WAR, outfield National League WAR, 1, 2, 3, I believe right now is Profar, Tatis, Merrill. There's an argument to be made.
This is Jackson Merrill.
That when they line up the All-Star starters in the National League in less than a month in Arlington, that it should all be Padres out there in the outfield.
Yeah, there's
I don't
definitely
think
an
that'll
argument
happen,
to be made.
but there's an argument to be made for it. We'll talk about it all with Sam Levitt, who's standing by right after this check of traffic on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by Air Max, San Diego's highest rated heating and air company. Visit them at airmax.com. Got a handful of trouble spots here, guys. One of them is this crash in the South Bay, northbound 5, right at the eastbound 905 connector ramp. It's over the right shoulder. And in the North County, northbound 5, right at the 76 connector, collision over the right shoulder. We still have this accident blocking the 2 right lanes on eastbound 78, right before the 15. Looking for the best in HVAC? Choose Air Max, San Diego's highest rated heating and air company, with free diagnostics on all repairs and estimates. See why over 1,300 happy customers have given Air Max 5-star Yelp reviews. See Air Max today at airmax.com. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So when you host close to, over 300 pre- and post-game shows over the course of a season, including half of them from the chaotic loft at the Western Metal Supply Company, there's going to be an incident or two. And unfortunately, our Sammy Levitt had one over the weekend.
Protesters?
No, I think this was self-inflicted. Sammy, what happened this weekend? Good morning to you.
Oh, yeah. The vibes were off from very early on yesterday. Like, if you would have asked me whether the Padres were going to win or lose that game, I probably could have told you at about 12:35. I had a large cup of water on the table. This is not the first time I've done this. Spilled it all over my laptop. Now, the incredible thing is that the laptop shut down immediately, and the YouTube stream, all that went off, and I was frozen. The whole thing was a mess. The amazing thing, the laptop came back on, I would say about an hour later, and it has been cruising ever since. I have no idea. I don't know if that is a good omen for the rest of the Padres season or not, bouncing back. But I am happy with where we're at right now. We'll see how long we go here. But the laptop has been absolutely cruising ever since.
Well,
so,
if it
was a little crazy, yeah.
If it works half the time, then it will be the perfect metaphor for the Padres season. So it'll work on Monday, might work on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, off, doesn't work. A big pain in your ass, and then, it's back again on Friday. Look at that. I believe in this laptop again. The laptop could be the metaphor that we were looking for this entire season. But I know you've had a chance to spend some time with Jackson Merrill. We did, too, in spring training, and he sat down with us and was brimming with confidence even then. And my one of the members of this show, I don't want to mention him, was actually saying, I don't know, like, this kid's a little cocky. Cocky was the word that this person used, Ben. And I said, man, he's very confident. He is very confident. And you kept asking the question, could that cockiness be misconstrued, or that confidence be misconstrued as cockiness? And I think the answer is yes, and it's great. I love it. He's a leader already, Sammy.
Yeah, I mean, he just continues to be remarkably impressive, and I'll talk about his numbers in a second, but I know you played the audio from what he said inside the clubhouse. That was at the start of the homestand, and to be honest with you, I mean, I wasn't very surprised at the answer from Jackson. That would be way out of character for what we know from him. If he were to say something like, "Oh yeah, that would be pretty cool," I as the question was being asked, I said, I know it's coming, but. He had a couple of answers post-game to me on when did he hit the home run to center. So that was Saturday. A couple of answers to me post-game that I thought were really interesting. Number one, I asked him, because he's talked a lot about, hey, he's not trying to hit these home runs, right? He's just trying to hit the ball. And, I think he called home runs happy accidents at one point. And I still kind of pressed him on it post-game on Saturday and asked him, can you point to anything that's leading to this kind of power surge? I mean, 7 home runs in 10 games. That's not all accidents,
correct?
Right? And he said one word at the very start of the answer. He said confidence.
Confidence.
And it's an extension, I think, of who Jackson is and who he's been since the very start of spring training. And then, I asked him after that about the injuries and basically to kind of take me inside this team's mentality as they battle all these major injuries and guys out of the lineup, especially on Saturday with Profar and Tatis out of the lineup. And he said another kind of, great line where we talked about, that he said to himself the night before, hey, I got to step up and not try to do too much, but step up. And just because guys are injured, it doesn't mean that, they can't play as hard as they possibly can. So he is as we all know, a great interview, and he gives you some great lines, and they are very tweetable and quotable. But beyond that with Jackson, I think it's a good moment halfway through the season, and especially with what he's done in the last couple of weeks with the power, to just recognize how remarkably impressive this is. I mean, we showed it up at spring training in Peoria, and it was very clear from very early on that he was going to be given every opportunity to win a job at a spring training, which, let's be honest about it, I don't think a lot of us anticipated before we showed up in Peoria that would be the case. But it was the case from very early on, and they put him in left and then ultimately put him in center. And when you consider the limited experience in the upper levels of the minor leagues, playing a position that he's never played before in his life before spring training, and now doing it at this level as well as he has, and the fact that he started this year at 20 years old, and now we're seeing this power. And you guys look at the numbers. He ended Saturday hitting .290 with 10 home runs, 30-something RBIs. I mean, you couple that with the defense. It is – I am remarkably impressed with what this young man has done. I mean, I really am. And you consider all the factors. And, look, I think the Padres deserve credit, right? I mean, again, it was very clear very early on, despite some of those things I just said, the limited experience, the age, learning a new position, it was very clear from the outset that he was going to be given every opportunity to win a job. He did that, and so far so good.
Yeah, I saw that quote in the interview you did about him saying, I need to step up a little bit with other guys hurt, but I can't also put all the pressure on myself to do too much. And that's the trick, really, isn't it? You have to have that next level without feeling like you need to put the entire team on your shoulders. Talking to Sam Levitt, Padres pre- and post-game show host, and it's because of those injuries, there is some concern. You played the audio on the post-game show. I was listening last night. We played it earlier. Mike Schilt discussing Fernando Tatis Jr. and his health. And you tried to explain it. I tried to explain it this morning as well, but Mike Schilt left a lot of uncertainty based on those comments, wouldn't you say, Sammy?
Yeah, I mean, look, he said he would have been available off the bench in the right spot. I think what's concerning really are two things. Number one, the fact that he hasn't been in the lineup the last couple of days, and there was kind of a lot of room, left in the answer post-game. And, look, he hasn't looked great. Forget about the elbow before he got hit by the pitch. I mean, there was that ball down the line, on Friday night where, that's a ball Fernando catches, that looper down the line, and he is just, whether it's on the bases or in the field, he doesn't look right running, and I think we can all see it, and it's hard to ignore. So, Look, I'm going to be fascinated to see today when we show up in the clubhouse, is he in the lineup? And if not, what does that mean, right? Because that's going on 3 days out of the lineup. And again, just from what you saw with your eyes, even before he got hit by the pitch, it did not look like Fernando running. It just did not. So, look, I don't have any more information on it other than what you guys have, but, I'm interested to see what the update is today. And, between the getting hit by the pitch and the quad situation, he's seemingly very banged up right now, and we'll see today. I'm intrigued to see what happens today with it.
Yeah, as am I, Sammy. I mean, things trickle out, and you hear things, and people are talking, and when you don't see a guy for 72 hours, you do start to worry. And
it's like every game, every time that lineup comes out now, every day, and we don't see him, you're going to start freaking out.
Yeah.
If he's not in the lineup today, we're going to be like, oh, my God.
Yeah, and again, based on everything we've heard, I don't expect him to be. And if you just watch the games, him trying to limp around the bases. And, again, I said it the other night when I was watching these guys grind through it, man. I think it was Friday night, the nice comeback victory. Guys are playing way less than 100%. I respect the hell out of that. I do, and I know it drives people crazy. I really, really know it drives them nuts when guys are hurt and they're trying to play through it, unless they perform. And then when they perform, it's admirable when they do it. It's a weird kind of double standard we have.
Yeah, and I think the thing that stood out about the Fernando situation was honestly that ball on Friday night that was the blooper down the line.
Yeah.
I mean, he catches that ball to me like 100 times out of 100.
That's the one, man.
I feel like we've all seen him the last handful of days, not looking great running, and clearly the gate is off. And but it was that ball where I was like, man, it's really affecting him in a way that I don't think we've seen. So, look, again, I'm intrigued to see what happens today with it. And look, our first piece of information will be the lineup, and then we'll sort of go from there, because I think once you're going on 3 days out of the lineup, then it becomes a real question of, is this an IL situation or not? If you guys want, I'll give you 2 keys to this series against the Nationals.
Please.
Quickly here. Okay. I did some number crunching this morning. So the Padres, you may have mentioned this already, maybe not. They will face 3 left-handed starters in this series against the Nationals. In the last 22 games, left-handed starters against the San Diego Padres have a 1.64 ERA. So key number 1, got to figure out a way to hit lefties in this series. That is a must, a left-handed starter. Key number 2, I went back to the last road trip, okay, the one to New York and Philly. I took out the Matt Waldron starts, which have both been great, and Matt Waldron pitches tonight. Other than Waldron, since the start of that road trip, a 6.96 ERA for the rest of the starting pitching. So to me, the keys are pretty clear in this series. And hey, I do this keys to the game segment every day, but the keys to the series: hit lefties, and the starting pitching has to be quite a bit better. And look, they have a good opportunity, quite honestly, to do that with Waldron today and Darvish coming off the IL tomorrow. You'd imagine he'd be on some sort of pitch limit tomorrow, but and then Cease on Wednesday. So gotta get it done. Got to reverse some of what's been going on both against the lefties and with the starting pitching. So I think you start there with this series against the Nats.
This will really test the left-handed scenario, because other than Mackenzie Gore, who's had an okay season, 3.5 ERA, not bad at all. The other 2 pitchers they're facing, in Patrick Corbin, is not good tonight. Matt Waldron's going tonight. He's been fantastic. This is kind of feels like, take this opener, please.
Got to.
Find a way to win this one. The last guy in the series, DJ Hers, was only made 4 starts this year, 4.5 ERA, 0.1 WAR. There's an opportunity to win a series here, and the Nationals have been better than people have expected. C.J. Abrams obviously has had a decent year here, Sammy, but they're just a half game behind the Padres. They're looking at this series as their chance to move into like a wild card spot this week. So, start it in the second half of the season. This is a pretty big one.
Yeah, it's a great point. And, again, and with the way the wild card, all the playoff spots work now with the tiebreaker rules, yeah, it's something I already wrote down. These games are really important in the bigger picture of the season. I mean, look, no matter what you think about the Padres and the Nationals and where you think they should be based on their talent level and based on their payrolls. And obviously you can intertwine the Soto trade into some of it as well. No matter what, you said it, the Nationals are a half game behind the Padres, and nothing's to say that you won't get to late September and you're sitting there battling for a final wild card spot with a team like this. So, look, in modern baseball now with the expanded playoff field and with the new, playoff tiebreaker rules, yeah, these kinds of games are actually really important when you look at the standings in late June and see two teams right next to each other. And, hey, even the Brewers, right? They're in first place in the NL Central. I think they're going to win that division. But, let's say they don't. And let's say they do end up fighting for a wild card spot. Well, one feather in the Padres' cap is that you've won that season series. And those things can prove to be really, really important at the end of the year. So, yeah, these games are big, no doubt.
Well, Sammy, got 3 more, and then finally an off day on Thursday. I know the Padres have had, 26 out of 27 here? That's also Sammy means he's been working 26 out of 27. So
don't tell Adam because he'll find something for you to do anyway.
You can join us on the round table on Thursday.
The round table.
Yeah, exactly.
Come
There's
on
always
in.
something
We'd
to
love
do
to
on
have
Thursdays.
You. Oh, I'd love to have
all
a
the
Sammy.
pizza you can eat, Sammy. We'd love to see you.
Oh, I'd love to have you.
But I will say one thing about the pizza. The one time I did do the round table in person, I've done it twice, once in Peoria and once in person, or I did it from home, whatever it was. The pizza came like right before we went on.
Yeah, it's terrible.
So
That's
how you supposed to eat? Yeah, I mean they got to adjust that. How about the pizza after?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
All right, Sammy. Have a good show tonight. We'll talk to you later.
All right, guys.
Thanks, buddy.
All right, 6:40 first pitch, 5:40 Eco Water SoCal pregame show with Sam Levitt tonight for the Loft at the Western Metal Supply Company, Padres Nationals. We've got 1 hour to go. It's a championship Monday, and Paulie's going to detail that for us in the Reindl Report, as long as some news you can use about snack foods, which is always great for the three of us. All coming up next here on 97.3 The Fan.
Just did my 5 All-Star Game votes. Like I voted 5 times.
You can vote up to 5 times per day.
I just did it.
Padres.com.
It's the Jackson Merrill effect. Got me.
Hi, this is Jackson Merrill.
Hi, Jackson.
Did you vote for him all 5 times?
Yeah. And I did one ballot, like filled everything on, then you could just
click.
submit it
You
5
don't have to
times.
go all the way through it 5
No,
different
God,
times.
no, because that would be
You'd
surprise.
split your ticket and
Do you
vote.
miss the ballots at the games?
The little punchies?
Punch 'em out.
I did like
Drop
them when I
them
was
in
a
the
kid.
box.
I liked them when I was a kid, but I also realized it's 2024.
I
and
know.
if there's no need to do it,
Did they really count all of those back
there's
then?
no effing way. There's no way. They're
Like
like
have
you,
a big Scantron machine in the back, or they're just
remember you poke it and then you have to flip it over and like make
sure
sure
it
because
came
you
all
don't
the way
want it
off?
to
Yeah, hanging
you don't want
chads.
Yeah, hanging chads. That's what those are called.
The right ends on the bottom.
Yeah, right ends on the bottom. I did like them when I was a kid, but I
loved them.
I'm kind of glad they're gone. Well, at least I understand why they're gone. 'Cause you can do it online.
And, back when I was a kid, there weren't that many people at Padres games, so the ushers would have tons of them. He'd just give me like 50 of them, and I just sit there all game. Dad, you got keys? And, Dad wouldn't have a pen, so he'd, try to give me his keys, but they didn't quite work. They weren't sharp enough to just,
you
get
really
the whole...
you needed a pen.
Yeah.
Is what
I always
you
had a pen
needed.
because I like to keep score as a
Oh,
kid
did you?
when I went to a game. So my
Yeah.
dad would get the program for like $1. He got the scorecard with it.
I'm going to start teaching Beau how to keep score. I think that's a good idea. Apparently, there's an update in Kevin Acey's newsletter that's not great, Benjamin.
I have not read the newsletter yet.
Yu Darvish may not make his scheduled start, which would have been tomorrow, I believe.
He would have... Adam Mazur's turn in the rotation, who was sent down to the minors, comes up tomorrow. So the odds were that Yu Darvish, who said he's good to go, ready to start in the big leagues in his next start after his rehab appearance at Fort Wayne last Wednesday.
There we go.
The thought was he'd be back tomorrow.
He did not throw his scheduled pre-start bullpen session. His status is up in the air. A source said the reason Darvish did not throw was a different issue than the groin strain that has kept him out since departing his May 29th start after 3 innings. No one would confirm what the new issue is. All manager Mike Schilt would say yesterday when questioned was, we're going to see what it looks like and have something for you tomorrow, which would be today, about his start tomorrow. Does that make sense? 2 other club officials offered the following identical answer when asked if Darvish would start tomorrow. Their answer, Ben? Don't know.
Also don't know who would be a potential option if it wasn't Yu Darvish. Bullpen day tomorrow?
We cannot do a bullpen day, my friend.
I don't know if you're even allowed to. I don't think you're allowed to recall Adam Mazur unless you put someone else on the injured list.
So you would have to go back on the injured list.
Well, he's already on the injured list, so you
you
can't
got to take him off tomorrow.
Yeah, they were going to take him off, but if you don't put someone else on the injured list, you can't recall a player from AAA. So it's possible that he wouldn't be available. You could put someone else on the injured list, I guess, but they'd actually have to be hurt. Teams have gotten into trouble lately for putting players on the injured list who aren't actually hurt.
Just the fact that, you can't let him, if he's, just the fact that it's even a question, right? You can't let him throw tomorrow, right? You can't. If there's something new, if there's a new issue, if it's a re-aggravation, it doesn't sound like
Well, it depends on what it is.
I mean, does it? What are we going to do? We're going to do this every 2 weeks?
It could be a blister. If it's better, then you can throw. If it's not, then you can't. You're not putting his career in jeopardy or the rest of his season in jeopardy if it's something like a blister or an issue like that. It depends on what the issue is.
I just don't know.
But we don't know. We don't have enough information to really make an informed
it's all speculation.
Opinion at this point.
It's all speculation.
Like I said, the second half of the season will largely be determined by the direction the Padres' health takes. If it gets better, things are looking good. If it gets worse, things could be looking quite bad. I'm putting the final touches on our next Take on Woods game, but it's not Take on Steven Woods. It'll be Take on Beau Woods for a chance to win Padres tickets to tomorrow's game. That's coming up in our next segment. Right now, though, let's get some headlines from Paulie and our Reindl Report.
And get things started here with our today's edition of the Reindl Report.
Now tuned into the greatest.
Welcome to the Reindl Report with Paul Reindl.
Hi, Paul.
All right.
2 stories from the world of sports that we haven't gotten to yet.
We'll start off in Major League Baseball.
And 1 story that you didn't know you needed.
Are you laughing, biatch?
It's the Reindl Report
Hey, Paul, how you doing?
Okay, how are you?
on 97.3 The Fan.
Are you ready to bless the mood? I need some help, please.
That was good.
Can I get a yeah? Oh, yeah.
All right.
That was quick, all right. I like that.
Yeah, ready to go on a Monday. We've got a championship Monday, boys. We'll start, how about Game 7? 2 best words in sports. Game 7.
Or worse, depending
worse.
if you're a fan of either team, it's the worst day of your life.
Yep, Stanley
Period.
Cup Finals, Game 7. What more could you ask for?
Who's having a harder time right now?
Got to be Florida.
Edmonton, though, Paulie, getting so close.
All right, put it this way. All of the pressure is on Florida.
I agree. 100%.
I think in Game 4, the pressure's on Edmonton. We can't get swept. We can't get swept.
I think that was definitely true the last 3 games. I think in some ways, it's almost a little freeing now for Florida. Like
Is it?
No, I think it's freeing for Edmonton.
Oh, I think
like, bro, we shouldn't be here.
I think for Edmonton now they feel some pressure. Like, you don't want to come all the way back from 3-0 to 3-3 and then not win the last game.
No. Let's do sports radio narratives. We're in Edmonton. And we're like, look, sorry, number 1, water. Okay, sorry.
You hoser.
But we ran out of gas. It happens. I'm real proud of this
Everybody
team.
in the world wrote us off after 3.
After 3, we were dead and buried. I'm sorry, but that's not the case. We ran out of gas. We busted our ass. We tip our hat. You get an auto hat tip if you're the Edmonton Oilers, win or lose tonight. Auto hat tip. You're the Panthers.
You lose today. Whew.
No one. I mean, what are they going to devote tomorrow to it in Florida? 14 minutes. The Dolphins are playing at some point.
You're not wrong.
We
It's
would. Put ourselves in the same shoes. Padres.
It'll be a brutal flight if they lose and they have to fly back to Edmonton without the cup. It'll be brutal.
Devastating.
It'll be brutal, but
man,
it won't.
There will be a hero's
there
welcome.
There won't be the historic humiliation that the Florida Panthers are facing. If the Florida Panthers win, it's a footnote. Yes, they got pushed to 7, but they ended up winning the cup. They lose, and they're the first team since 1942 to go up 3-0 in the Stanley Cup Finals and lose it. And one of the only, handful of teams in professional sports history to blow a 3-0 lead. But if they win, that's just, it took us 7.
I think
here's our cup.
The Red Sox have said they've made those documentaries, One Night in October, or whatever, or 7 Night, whatever the hell it was called. They're like, we all had shots of Jack Daniels before the game, like we
Playing
knew,
with
house money, that's a different. So if you're Edmonton, but I can't imagine, man, that they're not just. If you're Florida, you're just like, oh my god, let's get this over
Guys,
with.
we have to win this game.
It's just hellish. It's a hellish scenario. But yeah, what time is that game tonight, man?
Puck drops at 5:00 on
ABC.
Good.
Get a little of that before the Pods game. Yeah. Oh my god,
ABC,
who are you guys rooting
ESPN
for?
Plus.
I want to see the comeback.
Oh yeah, I'm rooting for the comeback.
I want to see the comeback.
I think Edmonton's maybe the emotional, for people without a rooting interest, kind of the emotional choice here.
I want to see what the old line says on this bad boy for tonight. Holy smokes.
There is one team that's America, and the other one's a whole nother country. So if you were, a fan of America, wouldn't you want to get Florida
I
in
just
there?
want to see. I like the 3. All right. Yeah, Panthers. Ooh. The Oilers. Oh, it's dead even. Minus 110.
Yeah.
Oh,
also looking to end the 31-year Stanley Cup drought for the nation of Canada.
Yeah.
And, the Oilers were the team. They started the season horribly, and then they turned it on and went on the long winning streak, the run to get there. This would be very karmically appropriate, where then they started the Stanley Cup looking like they were going to lose and then went on the run.
I love it.
4 in a row to win it.
Oh, I love a run.
5:00 on ABC.
Would like to be a part of one someday.
I'm just cheering for overtime because there's nothing like Game 7 overtime in sports, in hockey.
There's nothing.
Could end at any moment. It's really fantastic.
Oh, my God.
Well, the hockey starts at 5. The Padres start at 6:40, but there will be more championship baseball to watch at 4 o'clock. That starts on ESPN. That's the Men's College World Series. Tennessee and Texas A&M. That series is split one apiece. Somebody will be crowned College World Series champions tonight on ESPN. You guys been following that series at all?
No.
Okay, good talk.
Yes, I watched Saturday's game 1 for the most part, and Texas A&M looked very impressive in their game 1 win. I did not see yesterday's game, Tennessee coming back and evening the series though. So, but hey, winner take all. That's another exciting game tonight.
Sure is.
Yes,
I'll watch a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. 4 o'clock.
I'll be at a soccer clinic.
You got your phone.
I do.
Neither team has ever won a title.
Oh.
But the SEC always wins now, and they're going to win again.
They're going to win again
this year too.
Yeah.
All right, and then finally some snacks. Always good for some snack talk here.
Always down to snack.
I've got a list from eatthis.com. They put out a list of the top 40 unhealthiest snacks on the planet. We'll start with 10.
I bet you I've got 27 of them.
Like you've ever eaten them, or you like currently have them at your house?
We can do both.
Yes, I would say
I
there's...
assume we've all at least had one of these or a few of these at some point.
Yeah. Well, let's just go with the top 10. We'll start at number 10. Chewy Dips Chocolate Chip Granola Bar. You literally have one in your possession.
Chewy Dips, yep.
It's for my 6-year-old, so nice work, Mom.
Great parenting.
I thought granola bars were
Killer.
supposed to be healthy.
Yeah,
What
it's
happened
one of
to
the
that?
biggest misnomers of all time.
Oh, yeah.
So my wife keeps buying the Chewies, and she gets the dips. I don't like the dips. I like the regular Chewy bars. They're delicious.
I like the crunchy oat and honey ones.
I like those too.
Nature Valley.
I like
Yeah.
those too.
Yeah.
I'll eat the hell out of those.
Number 9,
one
just
right
your
here.
standard Twix candy bar. All guilty.
Oh, delicious. Delicious.
Well,
I miss peanut butter Twix
you
so bad.
expect a candy bar
bar
to be unhealthy,
Right.
so that's
Correct.
fine. It's a treat.
Number 8, the Hostess Old Fashioned Donuts.
Oh, yeah, powdered
the powdered ones.
Delicious.
Stay away from those. Too
You
messy.
can tell they're unhealthy because they leave this kind of
Film.
in your mouth when you eat them, though.
Mm-hmm.
They're really good, but then you've got this
Yeah,
it's like
it stays with you.
coating
Yeah.
inside your mouth, and you know that's probably like the trans fats or something that just stick there.
Number 7, Max Salt and Vinegar Pork Skins.
Nope, don't eat pork skins anymore.
I hear commercials all the time talking about how pork rinds are
keto, yeah.
the healthy. They're keto.
Yeah.
They're good for you. Why not?
And
I was always skeptical, though, that something made out of pork skin could really be good for you.
I grew up in Texas where they're like required eating. I never liked them even when I was a kid.
I don't like them at all.
I never did.
They get all that like puffy, and they don't really have that much flavor. I feel like
It feels like lard.
they're not good enough for as bad as for you as they are.
But allegedly they're good for you.
They're not though. We just
Oh,
found
fair
out
enough.
they're the seventh
Nothing
most
on this list
unhealthy
is good for you.
snack. Yeah.
That's because of the salt and vinegar.
Yeah.
Number 6, not my favorite, but I'm definitely guilty. Doritos Nacho Cheese.
Delicious.
The red bag.
Delicious.
I like the Cool Ranch.
I like them
I'm
all.
sure
I've
those
pretty much
aren't
given up on
great.
Doritos. I don't need them.
What?
I just
Come
don't need
on.
them.
If I'm getting a Jersey Mike's, I got to have some chips next to it. It's usually Cool
I do
Ranch.
too, but I like salt and vinegar potato chips.
Yeah,
I like those as well. Number 5
Number 5.
is the Little Debbie Swiss roll.
Oh God, yes, yes, spongy inside, just delicious.
I don't buy Little Debbie snacks.
Really?
I'm more of a Hostess man myself. Haven't had any of those since SD fat loss though. So.
Number 4.
Number 4 is Turtle Chex Mix.
Haven't had that yet.
So turtle like caramel and chocolate
Yeah.
turtles.
Yep.
No sound.
And they have Chex Mix that's covered in chocolate and caramel. Chex Mix on its own isn't great.
Number
for you.
3.
Number 3, a little surprising, Ritz Bits Cheese Sandwich Crackers. Probably
I like the peanut
I used
butter
to have
ones
those
better.
when I was a kid.
getting them in your lunch.
Ritz Bits, delicious. I like the peanut butter ones.
I
better.
agree with you.
Yeah.
Peanut butter is the way to go.
Yep.
Number
Over
2,
cheese.
Number 2.
I actually don't know what this is. Smucker's Goober Grape. Is that like the peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
No, it's the peanut butter and jelly mixed together in the thing in the jar. I think.
Oh, like a little plastic container.
Well,
full of
or a jar. You can buy like a jar of peanut butter and jelly together.
Goober's Grape.
Goobers
Jelly
Grape.
stripes.
Oh
Goobers.
yeah, it's a jar of
You need to put it
peanut
on
butter and
something,
jelly.
though.
I'm out. You put it on bread.
Well, how is that any different than a peanut butter and jelly sandwich?
It's not
though?
really. It's just probably more sugar and all mixed together, and it's not great.
All right. Ready for number one?
Yeah, number one.
Number
Any guesses
one.
on something you haven't heard yet?
Ooh.
Unhealthiest snacks.
Any guesses on unhealthy snacks?
Give me a hint.
It
Sweet or savory?
It's a Little Debbie snack.
Okay. Zingers.
Nope.
I love those.
Ding dongs or Hostess, right?
Yes.
They are, but it is the zebra cakes. The number one
Those are bomb.
unhealthiest snack on the planet. Each zebra cake comes with 320 calories, 14 grams of fat, including 8 grams of saturated fat.
Little Debbie's takes a real beating on this list.
150
where are
milligrams
the
of
Twinkies?
sodium.
Yeah, where
like
are Twinkies?
Twinkies, I thought were like the worst thing for you. Just like so processed,
Yeah.
so many preservatives. Like they'd last 100 years and nothing but just sugar and fat.
Delicious.
But they didn't make the list, huh?
They did not make the list.
Little Debbie rules, though. The oatmeal pie kicks ass.
God,
Little Debbie
the
Nutty
Mott's-
Bars.
The Mott's fruit snacks.
Yeah, those are
coming
bad.
at number 12.
Yeah, those are bad.
Not seeing
Try to
it.
buy like the organic
Strawberry
ones.
Pop-Tarts, number 15.
Oh, so good.
And Gushers, number 17.
Somebody said this.
Wait, strawberry Pop-Tarts are like more unhealthy than the ones that are like the brown sugar ones? Those feel like they have to be worse than the strawberry
Hot
ones.
Pockets came in at number 19. There's Twinkies, number 20.
20.
Okay.
All right.
20.
Somebody said this list brought to you by Hostess because it's mostly Little Debbie
There's
snacks.
a lot of Little Debbie snacks. A lot of Little Debbie.
Thank you, Paulie. Ready
Very
to play some Take on Woods again?
Yeah, a whole different edition of Take on Woods. We'll need a contestant if you want to get online during the break and battle Beau Woods.
What are you playing for?
For a chance to win a pair of tickets to tomorrow's Padres Nationals game, and it's the Ha-Sung Kim bobblehead game. First 40,000 fans going to get a Ha-Sung Kim bobblehead. Go to Padres.com/tickets to win, or win them by just knowing more than Beau Woods about your San Diego Padres. Coming up next year, 833-288-0973. And we might need multiple contestants. Who knows? If the first one doesn't win, we may need backups. So good luck. 833-288-0973.
Or Beau wins the tickets.
That's a good point, too. We could just do it that way. Call in now, and we'll be right back after traffic here on 97.3 The Fan. 3 games remaining on this Padres homestand, all against the Washington Nationals, starting tonight, 6:40, tomorrow 6:40, and then 1:10 on Wednesday afternoon for the Padres. Head back to the East Coast. Got the Boston Red Sox coming up this weekend. We kind of know how this goes, Paulie. Padres went 4-3 ultimately last week. Probably 3-3 in the cards this week.
Oh, yeah.
Still 500 next Monday morning when we show up. Would anyone be shocked by that? I don't think so.
Groundhog Day.
We do have tickets to give away, though, to tomorrow night's game against the Washington Nationals. Again, it's the Ha-Sung Kim bobblehead game. Tickets are available. Padres.com/tickets. But to win, we're going to play a rare and different second edition of Take on Woods. Hit it, Blake. Beau.
Beau.
All right, that's right. You're not playing against Stephen Woods. You're playing against his 6-year-old son, Beau Woods, in a game we call Padres by the Numbers. And Neil, welcome. You are a contestant today. Are you excited? Are you nervous?
I'm a bit nervous. I think this is going to be a little more stressful than taking on Mr. Woods.
I would think so. So here are the rules. Similar to Take on Woods, you'll go first, then Beau will come in. Instead of music trivia, though, I have some Padres numeric trivia for you. 10 questions, no time. You just, I'll give you each one chance at each one. Give us your best answer, and then we'll go through the list. And if you beat or tie Beau, we'll give you the Padres tickets for tomorrow's game. Sound good?
Let's do it.
All right, Beau and Steven are outside the studio waiting until we call them back in. All right, so good luck to you. Again, these are Padres by the numbers. So, Neil, here we go. Question number 1. What number does Manny Machado wear?
13.
Correct. Which Padres player wears lucky number 7?
Ha-Sung Kim.
Correct. Which Padres player wears the number 1?
Yuki Matsui.
Correct. Which Padres player wears the number 2?
I don't, pass.
Which Padres player wears the number 3?
Pass.
What number does pitcher Randy Vasquez wear?
98.
Correct. Which Padres catcher wears the number 20?
Higgy.
Correct. Of David Peralta or Fernando Tatis Jr., who wears the higher number?
Peralta.
Correct. Which Padres player wears the number 84?
Oh, geez. Marhone?
Incorrect. Which Padres player wears the same number Blake Snell wore last season?
Michael King?
No. You did get, let's see, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I believe, of the 10. Is that what you got, Paulie?
Yeah, I don't think that's good enough.
We'll see. All right, 7 of 10. You got, let's see, Manny 13, Ha-Sung Kim, Yuki Matsui's 1. Xander Bogaerts is number 2. Haven't seen him in a while. Out of sight, out of mind. You had Jackson Merrill's number 3. Did he get Jackson Merrill? You didn't get that one. So you only got 6 of the 8. You got Randy Vasquez, number 98. That was a good one. Kyle Higashioka is number 20. Peralta's 24 and Fernando's 23, so you got that one. Dylan Cease wears number 84. And Luis Arraez, number 4, wears the same number Blake Snell. So 6 is the number here. Let's see. We'll bring Wood. Hang on the line there, Neil. We'll bring back the Woodses. The Woods or the Woodses?
The Woods.
The Woods. The Woods family has returned. Get the headphones on Beau.
This mic, Paulie?
Get the microphone is all set up for him.
Say hi, Beau.
All right, so Neil's score is locked in. Now, Beau, again, just do the best you can with the same 10 questions. You ready?
Yes.
All right, here we go. Question number 1. What number does Manny Machado wear?
13.
Correct. Which Padres player wears lucky number 7?
Ha-Sung Kim.
Correct. Which Padres player wears the number 1?
Yuki Matsui.
Correct. Which Padres player wears the number 2?
Xander Bogaerts.
Correct. Which Padres player wears the number 3?
Jackson Merrill.
Correct. Which number does pitcher Randy Vasquez wear?
Pass.
Which Padres catcher wears the number 20?
Kyle Higashioka.
Correct. Of David Peralta or Fernando Tatis Jr., who wears the higher number?
David Peralta.
That is correct. Which Padres player wears the number 84?
Dylan Cease.
Correct. Which Padres player wears the same number Blake Snell wore last season?
Feliz Suarez.
Yes!
Bro, he smoked Neil.
8-6. Beau is our champion. Neil, you know what? I don't want. Let's give him the tickets anyway.
You give him to Neil?
Yeah,
Is that
let's
okay
give
with
him to
you,
Neil.
Beau?
Just for playing.
Can you want Neil to have
Can
the
Neil have
tickets
your
anyway?
tickets, please?
Even though he lost?
You get to go to
Yes.
games with your dad. All
Look
right,
at
Neil.
you.
You're on the air with Beau Woods. If you want to congratulate him, go ahead, Neil. But he got you today.
Congratulations, Beau. Well done. You thanked
Thank
me.
you.
But just for playing, Neil, Beau's going to give you his tickets.
Look at
now
that. You gave him your
to the
ticket.
Padres
Neil,
game
just hang on the line
for
for a
tomorrow.
minute.
So
for tomorrow night.
generous.
So Neil, hang on the line. Paulie will get your information. Well
I mean,
done,
Neil
Beau.
did pretty good, and I go,
Yeah.
but he missed a couple. I go, oh, Beau's got this in
So
the bag.
I was very impressed, especially the last question, which required a logical step
Yes.
of remembering what number Blake Snell wore, and then correlating that to this year's roster and another new player in number 4.
It's unbelievable. We play Take on Woods in the car with music, too, and he's really, really, really good at it. So the next generation of music and sports trivia is here. Man, you crushed that. I'm so proud of you.
Way to go, Beau.
Your mama's listening. You want to say anything to her? Say hi, Mom. No? All right.
By the way,
Sorry, babe.
Beau was not given any of those questions in
No,
advance.
absolutely
at
not.
all. I did know that he had some knowledge of some Padres, but I tried to mix it up to make sure he didn't have any idea what was coming. So,
Yeah, what a gracious
very
winner.
good job.
Say hi to your mama out there. Say hi, Mama.
Hi, Mama.
Sweet baby.
All right, we got one segment left. We'll come back. We can talk about this series again against the Washington Nationals, including tonight's matchup. Padres trying to get off to a fast start. Don't let one loss snowball into another, 4-game losing streak coming up here. We'll get to that before Annie and Elston coming up on San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
Huge fan.
Well, Beau Woods is the talk of the chat, and his performance, very impressive in Take on Beau Woods in our last segment. Going to be remembered for quite some time.
Slayed it, man. Is that fun?
Yeah.
Yeah, you crushed it.
Good job. Would have done better than I could have done.
Dude, I know.
I've never been...
Me neither.
Being a sports guy, I just have never been the uniform number guy.
I know.
It's just not something that I necessarily... I mean, obviously, some of the big ones.
Sure,
but
yeah, of course.
The in-depth on the numbers, no, never been my
There are
forte.
people out there, though, that you could just go 1 through 50, and they'll name some very notable player that wore number
Chris
whatever.
Ello is amazing at that game.
I've never been good at that either.
In college, we had a coffee table book that was like sports by the numbers or whatever.
Yeah.
And every page, it was like number one, and it just showed all the big athletes.
The number ones.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah, it's great.
I'm not wired that way.
Me neither.
Putting that together, I realized that 2 of the oddest numbers on the team are very significant because 84 and 98 are the 2, significant seasons in Padres history. They're World Series years. Of course, it's the 40-year anniversary of the 1984 World Series, and Dylan Cease comes in wearing 84 this year. And then 98 is Randy Vasquez's number, and he had a nice start over the weekend. I think everyone was like, okay, I'm tired of Randy Vasquez in the starting rotation. Pitched 5, not perfect, but shutout innings and got a win, which Padres have been few and far between for their starting pitchers lately in getting, full 5 innings. And Randy Vasquez was able to at least do that when he got his opportunity over the weekend. So on Saturday, you were there.
I was there.
Game he pitched. I mean, it wasn't great, but
it was fine. I mean,
he got out of some trouble. Kyle Higashioka threw out 2. Bryce Strang twice at second base.
He had not been thrown out this season. And Higgy got him twice. Higgy's been great, man. Hit a bomb that day, too. I mean,
he has 5 home runs in the month of June.
Yeah.
I mean, with Luis Campusano getting hurt, Kyle Higashioka has stepped up at the time that the Padres have needed him to step up the most.
No question.
He had that stretch where he went like 0 for 20 earlier in the season, and that was with only playing, once or twice a week at most. But lately, he's been an absolute critical part of the Padres team, and defensively, he's superior to Luis Campusano.
Oh, yeah, 100%. And he'll be in there tonight catching Waldron, and hopefully Matty goes out and has another really, really good outing tonight. We need it. Matt Waldron as your stopper he's been very effective, Ben, his last 8 starts or something ridiculous. So keep it rolling.
And we'll talk about that matchup and Matt Waldron as the stopper right after our last check of traffic here on 97.3 The Fan.
From the 97.3 The Fan Traffic Center, here's Kelly Danick.
Traffic is sponsored by the San Diego Zoo Safari Park. Not a bad wrap-up for our morning drive, guys. Everything's looking pretty good all around the county. Not showing any incidents, no accidents, no surprises. Cordell and Cordell traffic cam shows westbound side of the 52. Looking pretty good for you heading out of Santee. Change the way you see the world at the San Diego Zoo Safari Park. Whether you're eye-to-eye with Sumatran tigers or soaring high above giraffes and rhinos, every adventure helps support wildlife worldwide. Visit today and see conservation from a new perspective. I'm Kelly Danick with Ben and Woods, San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan.
So Matt Waldron really has already been the stopper lately. He's the one Padres pitcher over this last 3 to 4 weeks who's been consistently going deeper into games when everyone else has struggled to put more than 5 innings together. He's getting into the 7th. He's pitching through 7. And limiting the opposition to, like a single run per game, essentially, over his last, 6 outings. And now he has the opportunity to go out there and not stop a losing streak, which he's done. But this time, he's just trying to nip it in the bud at 1. And that's something the Padres Woods have not done well this year. Once they lose 1, usually they let it snowball into 3 or 4 or 4 out of 5. And they've yet to been The reason they haven't been able to make ground is not that they haven't gone on short winning streaks. They have. They've won 4 in a row twice. They've won 3 in a row a bunch of times. But once they lose, they always give it right back with losing 3 in a row, losing 4 of 5. What you need to do to make hay is when you have that 3 or 4 game winning streak and you lose one, which is inevitable, then you go back and you start another one. 3, 4, 4 out of 5 right after it. Matt Waldron has a chance to put them at least first step on doing that for the really first time all season if he can win tonight's game against the Washington Nationals.
And, of course, Patrick Corbin's going to be on the bump. His surface numbers, 1-7, 5.60 ERA. Started 15 games for them, 82 innings pitched. Doesn't strike out a ton of guys. His whip is 1.60. I mean, his sliders, they're all blue. I mean, it's all in the blue except for, oh, God, no, not this one. Ground ball percentage is over 67, which is good. And extension, what does that mean? His extension. No idea. That's high as well, which is in the red.
I think that was the contract extension that they gave him that they're
my
regretting
God.
for several years ago.
Extension regret is what that is? Then it should be higher. It should be much higher. But he's a 5-pitch pitcher, man. He's going to throw the sinker, the slider, the cutter, the four-seamer, and the changeup. But he's mostly sinker-slider. And those are the guys where those are the kind of guys where you gotta be careful beating it into the ground all night. But again, it's a guy you should beat. It's a guy you should this is a team you should beat at least 2 out of 3. And see what happens tonight. But guys got to keep playing well. And I know they're banged up, but hey, like Jackson Merrill said, man, they got to step up. They're going to be facing 3 lefties. It has not been pretty. Gives me a lot of heartburn thinking about this series against 3 lefties with the Nats.
Now, offensively, the concern remains, although it's a different concern right now for the Padres. You've got Jackson Merrill has been red hot. Jake Cronenworth, I haven't really even mentioned Jake.
Oh my God,
his 5 for 5
Woo!
performance, career high. He after a bit of a slump, he looks like he's starting to swing the bat well again. I do feel like Manny is not quite there yet, but starting to slowly
much better.
Kind of come back in the right direction. But you don't know whether we're going to see Tatis or not. I feel like Peralta and Solano have both showed some flashes. Solano especially has been better than Peralta, but both of them have been struggling, I think, a little bit more lately. And your DH position remains a big question mark now. At least one of those guys needs to get going. So the question marks are just kind of moving around the Padres lineup back and forth with different people.
It's the dam.
Yeah, a little bit.
It's the dam, and you plug one, and another one pops, and with this
Arise had a couple hits yesterday. He had been, for Arise slumping, which means only 1 hit every game or so, not 2, but he got 2 yesterday. Hopefully he can have one of those 3 or 4 hit games. That would go a long way toward staking the Padres to some offense that they need against a guy like Patrick Corbin, who gives up plenty of hits. A guy gives up like 10, 12 hits a lot of times. You're just hoping you can turn those into runs.
Yeah, and power surge for this team lately. They're hitting a lot of home runs at Petco Park. The weather is warm.
Yesterday ended the streak of how many straight games did they hit a home run?
A bunch,
yeah.
Man. They had hit a ton. So this is what you need, man. This is what you need. You got to take Patrick Corbin deep. You got to score a lot of runs off of him. And really, the well-rested bullpen today for the guys as well. But Matt Waldron goes into the 7th inning, seemingly every start. So knock on wood that continues. And, whew, boy, see what happens.
I'd like to see just the normal Robert Suarez usage at some point.
That would be good. That would be really good.
Again, you can't dictate, when you have your 1, 2, or 3 run leads. But for some reason, the Padres either need Robert Suarez 5 days in a row, or they don't need him 8 days in a row. And it's just be nice if they could spread it out a little bit. Like you need him, today, but not tomorrow, and then the next day would be great. Just a little more regular usage for Robert Suarez without the over usage that they've had to ask from him a couple of times over the course of the season. But he should be rested now. He asked for that day off. When Estrada went in, they got the late win in that game, the walk-off, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then they had
they haven't needed him again since then.
Yeah, they did. He had to come in and clean up Brito's mess.
Right. He had to pitch the one batter when Brito couldn't hold the lead.
I was at the game
Saturday.
Always fun to see Robert Suarez up close, but definitely did not want to have to use him in that game. But when you give up a grand slam to make it 6-4, I have no problem with Mike Schultz going to Robert Suarez for that out.
By the way, that grand slam was the weirdest swing I have ever seen on a home run.
It made no sense whatsoever.
I did no thought when it left the bat that was going to be probably even a fair ball in anywhere. It's certainly not one that went over the wall. It was literally a choked up half swing that somehow flew all the way to the Western Metal Supply Company.
And he hits with that giant Jeff McNeil knob piano leg bat. It was not pretty, but it worked. It worked. So, Yeah, man, nice to take 3 or 4 from those guys. I mean, really, and you played them really well. I mean, got down and came back in game 1, and Saturday was really. I know it was 6-4 is how it ended, but you never felt that game was really out of your hands. Johnny Brito came in yesterday, had a nice bounce back, Ben, and just tough for Schilt right now, knowing what buttons to push. But it is nice that the guys are rested, going into this series against the Nats, and it should set you up nicely if things go to plan as they have with Matt Waldron when he's on the mound. Should be another restful night for the Padres bullpen. Knock on wood.
We talked about it earlier, but this is the last series of the very long stretch of 26 games in 27 days for the Padres. They will have an off day on Thursday, travel day as they head to Boston for a 3-game set against the Red Sox this weekend. Then it's an off day on Monday before they have to travel halfway back across the country to face the Texas Rangers next Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. And then they finish at home until the All-Star break with a 3-team homestand against the Diamondbacks, 2 against the Mariners, and 3 against the Atlanta Braves. So they've got just 6 more series before the All-Star break, and then second half of the season will be here. But this is kind of the time where if you take your foot off the gas, you can find yourself with a really uphill climb after the All-Star break. Or if you put your foot down, you pedal down to the floor here, you can go into the All-Star break with a little bit of breathing room, or at least feeling like get like 4 or 5 games above 500 just in these next 3 weeks would be such a great way to go into the All-Star break and really feel confident before the trading deadline. We've been saying this all year long, but there's just every portion of the schedule seems to have that key element for the Padres this year. And I'm looking at these last 6 series as pretty pivotal for the Padres before the All-Star break.
Yeah, 100%. So Purple in the chat let me know that extension, Ben, we were asking about that on the Savant page. It's how much closer a pitcher's release point is to home plate. So Patrick Corbin has good extension towards home plate, meaning maybe the ball gets on you a little faster, a little tough to pick up, something like that. So,
yeah.
So he's got
Plastic Man
good,
would have like the best extension possible.
I wonder what Randy Johnson's
Very
extension was.
And while that's not the be-all, end-all, the closer you are to home plate when you release it, the less time the batter has to react.
That's exactly right.
So the taller, the lankier you are, like Bob Scanlon probably had pretty good extension, I would think.
You know what I'm going to look up real quick while I'm got this open here? I'm going to look up Dylan Cease's extension. Of course, I can't find it. Here it is. Oh, very, very. He does the short arm bit. He pulls it here.
You saw that.
Yeah,
you could tell.
Of course. Yeah, we're watching the game going, oh, yeah, he's got the short arm, and that's the way he throws. And somehow is able to throw 97, 98 miles an hour with it. But yeah, his extension is way low, Benny.
Yeah, I'm
29.
sure you'd rather throw 98 without extension than throw 89 with extension.
Sure.
But, combine them both, and it becomes even tougher for the opposition to hit.
That's just a good dichotomy of what that number actually means. So you learn something new every day. Even we do, most days.
Yeah, and by the way, Dylan Cease didn't throw poorly his last time out. He kind of had the same as Michael King, and didn't pitch badly. Had the one inning that just got away.
Yeah, man,
in his last start, but otherwise was pretty sharp in his last outing.
Yeah, I mean, yes.
But ultimately, both guys, the 2 key additions to the Padres starting rotation, Dylan Cease and Michael King, are what, 500, 6-6, and 5-5.
Yep.
And ultimately, if you're trying to win games, how fitting. And the Padres are 41-41. Just the up and down nature of this season for the team.
Yep. All right. Well, get the dub tonight. Come back in here tomorrow with good.
By the
vibes.
way, if Waldron gets the win tonight, he'll be 6-6.
Jesus, such a mid team.
Can anyone escape the 500-ness of the San Diego Padres? Is the question.
Only they can change that narrative. They're the only ones that can change that narrative and go out and beat the friggin' Nationals and Patrick Corbin and his 6 ERA almost. But yeah, man, these are the games traditionally this year that if you don't buck the trend, these are the games that make you insane.
I mean,
as a fan. Insane.
This is so typical. But you look at the 2 rosters. You look at Padres versus the Nationals,
Yes.
and you go, Padres are clearly the better team. But then you look at the standings, and they're essentially the same team. The Nationals are half a game behind the San Diego Padres. There's really been no difference between the play of those 2 teams. Now, The Nationals give up fewer runs but score fewer runs. But other than that, they've basically for half a season kept pace with the San Diego Padres. So any other thought that the Padres should beat this team is misplaced.
It's kind of out the window, to be honest with you. It really is kind of out the window when you're talking about the San Diego Padres and what should happen and what actually will happen.
Now, again, the lefty thing is a concern here for the Padres in this series. The fact that they, 18 you said, Paulie, straight games? An ERA of like 1 point something?
Like 1.64 or something?
Even teams that struggle badly. As Sammy had that one, even teams that struggle badly, it's got to be an outlier somewhere.
Right.
I mean, the Padres could be the worst team against lefties all year long. They're going to have a game where they score 8 against the lefties somewhere.
One would think. And if it wasn't Jose Quintana, it better be Patrick Corbin, for the love of God.
It's got to be Patrick Corbin.
It's just a streak, like all streaks in baseball.
It's got to come to an end.
It's got to come to an end at some point. Doesn't even have to be a sign of things to come.
No.
At some
just
point.
Tonight.
You go out and you just win one easily against a left-handed pitcher. It can't continue forever like this. Why not today?
Well, fun show, boys. Beau, thanks for filling in today. You did a great job.
Will he be back tomorrow, all week long?
No, he's got SEALs camp tomorrow. His first time trying lacrosse, so he's really excited. We got to go home today, get him in all the gear, make sure it all fits and everything, and yeah, he's going to be out there with Wes Berg and Cam Holding and all the SEALs. It's going to be awesome.
All right, fun start to the week. Annie and Elston are coming up next. We'll be back with you tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. Enjoy the game tonight for Paulie Reindl.
Just give me a little Hawk Tuah to get out of here.
For Stephen Woods, I'm Ben Higgins. Have a great Hawk Tuah kind of day from all of us here at San Diego's #1 sports station, 97.3 The Fan. So long, everybody.